Hello, everybody. Don't mind me making weird noises. I'm just trying to make sure everything's on the up and up. Can my guests say hello for me?
Hello.
Okay, cool.
Good
Coming in
morrow.
loud and clear. Good morning.
Good morrow.
Oh, good morrow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
aren't we
Good
fancy?
Very European.
That's very Euro of you. No, but seriously, I'm an American, and that's really cool.
You're welcome.
Is this the Ghibli Jazz YouTube? Why do you gotta immediately call me out like that? What the hell, man? Okay, well, we're off to a good start. Yes,
God.
it is the Ghibli Jazz YouTube. What the hell are you gonna do about it?
Also, Rosie, Clunch, thank you both for follows. Love you guys. Good to see you.
Yeah,
Hail
thank
Firefly.
you. Let me see. Let me catch up on the messages real quick. Goblins
There's so
assemble.
many.
All right, thanks, Will. Let's see. Hi, Clunch. Hello, JJ. What's up? Good afternoon to you. Let's see. Cassie Muffin. I have points and I must scream. Yeah, absolutely. I have so many points
have
and nothing
points
to
and I
spend
must
them
scream.
on. I don't know what to do for points. Okay, like what do I do on the? Make my guest do like a little dance. That'd be funny.
Hydrate.
No.
Hydrate. Oh, I could do hydrate. You can highlight your message and do like the hydrate shit. Like I'm already
Hydrate, stretch, and I guess that's really it. Also, your mic is you could always do the like your mic is muted for like 1 point or something.
Hydrate, scream. You can highlight to put scream.
We-
that is
we could-
absolutely true.
We could choose a way for you to wear your hair.
Oh, that's true. That's
Ooh,
actually a good
yeah.
one. I like that.
We could be
Yeah.
like, put it up, put it in a bun, braid it.
We both
That's a
have
good
enough
idea.
hair to do that. That would work great.
No, but you have like a baby amount of hair compared to what Nick has. Okay, red. Sorry, I just ousted myself. I just doxed myself.
Did you just third person yourself?
I
Is
did.
the question I was
did.
about to say.
braid it?
Um,
You want me to braid on stream? You cruel bastards! Put on a hat.
Hell yeah,
Okay, I'll put
do
on a
that.
hat. I'll put on a hat.
Speaking of, the people have spoken. Braid the hair.
Braid- no, I'll braid my hair like in front of myself. Like how's that?
I'm
Like,
the voice of the people today.
I actually don't know how to braid my hair. I'm not that much of a sinner.
I do.
I'll put a hat
But-
on.
I will be
Your
very
hair's like-
active in the chat.
Well, I appreciate you folks being active. You don't have to be active in the chat. These people are just they are chomping at the bit. They're waiting for the opportunity where I accidentally
I
disclose
feel
my
like-
home address.
Half the chat has had a lot of sugar. Like, that's what I'm getting from this chat so
We live
far.
in the United States. Everything has sugar in it.
Yeah, no, I'm drinking orange juice, which is chemically indiscernible from Coca-Cola,
Take
save
off.
for the carbonation.
Nathan
so,
said
like,
take off a hat. Okay, we'll take. Okay, cool. Take off. Well, that was eventful. Wow, what a great stream this has been so far.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna see if I
What,
can.
what do you mean you're sorry? You're a part of the problem.
I know, that's why I'm saying sorry.
Put the hat back on. Oh, this is like
Yeah,
Germa's
oh,
like
it's all your
dollhouse stream.
fault.
Oh man. Okay, hat
Oh,
back on.
God.
How's that? All right. So, welcome to Writer's Block. This is episode, technically episode 1. Put on a second. You son of a bitch. Oh, we have a second. Oh, I guess I got it. Hold on.
What have I done?
This
I
is
started
Writer's
it.
Block, season 2,
I started a
episode
pandemic.
1. The
Hold on.
European, our European special, our first European special of the season. Put on sunglasses. Okay, wow, we are just going full.
There we
Oh,
go.
shit, I don't have a hat to put on. This is bad.
That's alright, I got one. So
I'll
This
put
is-
this on for 10,000 channel points because
Stack
it
of
has no
hats.
padding.
this
So-
is,
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
have another. I do have another
Quick,
hat.
Refund
so
everyone.
Put sunglasses on the hat. Okay, well, we're I just bumped my
Are we playing Barbie Dreamhouse or are we gonna actually stream? Like, what's the deal, guys?
Okay, folks, hold off on a second on the hats. I can get one more, but let's start the stream first. So, welcome to the first episode of season 2 of Writer's Block. This is the European special because I can't think of a better time to do it. Stop with hats. Start stream. Thank you, Will. I will acknowledge that overall. If somebody tells me to put on another hat, you're gonna have to give me at least like 3 minutes. So
And
this is
I'm
the
counting.
this is the
Hats for
stream.
bits.
Dance, wiggle those shoulders. Okay, I'll dance while I'm doing the intro. So, we each have 3 words that nobody knows. Some of us have way more than 3 words, but I won't call anybody out, Art. So, we're each gonna go through and pick out one of those words until we have all 3 of our words. And,
it's
from
alright,
there,
the same to me as well.
Yeah, and we'll do world building. Well, you have 3 words this time. You didn't over prepare.
I know. I cut down, and I don't like the feeling that it's giving me.
Oh, don't worry. I prepared 2 of my words. My last one's gonna be completely improv. I mostly prepared these words just to confuse the hell out of my European viewers. I'm not kidding. I literally picked American words, the most American words I can think of. So, yeah, let's get started. Woo! Okay. So, Art, what is your first word? I'll give you at least a few minutes so you can pick from that list.
Hold on, let me pick from one of my 42 words.
Roll 2d20s and then take the average.
I will do. No, I'll do that for the next one. The next round. My first word is fortune.
Okay.
Fortune?
Fortune.
That's what the show's gonna be worth after I put on another hat.
That's what my face reveal is worth currently.
Face reveal. Yeah, no, face reveal is worth. I have a monopoly on your face right now, Art. I could make an NFT of your face and you wouldn't have a say in it.
Why did we
Sure,
utter the
don't do
3
that.
letters of doom? We don't talk
Right.
about the 3 letters of doom.
Oh, is that the time I need to go?
Good heavens, is that the time?
Oh, blimey!
Oh my god.
Blimey, is that the time? I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Okay. Kat, what's your first word?
Oh, so you talking to me?
Yeah.
Tradition is my
Tradition.
word.
It is tradition for Writer's Block to
Tradition.
be absolutely hectic for the first 20 minutes of the stream.
Yeah, so
You're
sorry, I
welcome.
forgot that we were doing a thing.
Non-fungible Thai Artemis. Absolutely, Ginger. Yeah.
I'll
Absolutely.
take it.
That's
Also,
solid.
hi Ginger. This is weird.
Only the first 20? Okay, Cassie, you don't gotta call me out like that. Don't you live near St. Louis? Yeah, okay. Sorry, Missourians talking shit on other Missourians. It's kind of a rite of passage for us. Omni, what's your first word?
First word, sleek.
Sleek.
Ooh.
Ooh,
That's
that's
a
a
nice word.
fancy word at that age right there. Whew.
Yes,
Sorry.
indeed.
Wait, can I swear on the stream?
Yes. Have you heard the stream?
Word.
It's like 80% profanity.
Okay,
Like,
look, that might mostly be my fault, but we have a Scottish
Yes.
viewer, so we're gonna be exceptional with the curse words.
I'm
Also, we're
so
20
sorry.
minutes in. No, go ahead. I cuss like a sailor. You should hear how much I cuss when I'm not on stream.
Oh, good. I feel more at home now.
Go the fuck ahead. Let's hear it.
What do you want? What?
Go. What's your?
Well,
Wait, I didn't do my word. Let's see.
You didn't
oh,
do
no, my
that
sunglasses.
Your word.
We were all waiting for you.
Oh,
You
what's
Stella.
As we all leap down your throat collectively.
Hold on. Only Omni can leap down my
The
throat.
way you just yelled. Oh,
I did a yelp because my glasses fell off my second hat. My modest tower of hats. My first word is let me pull up my cellular device that has frogs on it. You can't even see that. That's sad. Okay.
cellular device.
My cellular device tells me that my first word is gerrymandering.
That was the word, by the way, that he sent me that was going to mess with you guys. I'm
Welcome to
sorry.
American politics.
welcome to Google.
Yeah.
I wish you
Well,
luck.
let me just Google that.
I
What does
think
Miriam say about that? Ms. Webster gotta say.
gerrymandering is like the political division of territories in a particular area in order to control votes.
Please.
So, you ever see those like maps of like United States cities where they're like there's like a little part and it has this weird wing going off? That's gerrymandering. It's
Yeah.
people like splitting up territories to get the votes that they want.
Gerrymandering. That's a great word.
You
I
leave
love it.
Jerry alone.
It's a great word for a terrible practice.
Leave
Poor
Jerry the
Jerry.
fuck alone, you bastard! You.
Why are you Irish?
Oh my
Mate,
god.
so
I-
am
I'm not
Irish.
Irish.
Oh, you want me to be
Irish,
Oh.
American, Russian, I don't care. Next word.
Sorry. Yes. It's
Gerrymandering. Quit your gerrymandering.
Wait, whose word is it?
Sorry.
Yours.
Yours.
It's
Oh,
all
mine.
you are.
Shit.
You have the floor.
Oh god, don't give me the floor.
Here's
I
the
will
floor.
drop it.
Here's the ceiling.
That's better. My next word is gardens.
Gardens.
Mm.
That's a pleasant word compared to
Aw.
gerrymandering.
I picked one of the nice words. Some of these words are quite dark.
I don't know if gerrymandering's dark. It's just confusing.
Well, it's not even.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think I feel? I'm an American. I live in these gerrymandering territories. They're awful. Let's see. Next word. Thanks, Will. Dick. One
My
allowed
You
F
think
bomb. Yeah, we're done with the one allowed F bomb. Anyway, Kat, what's your next
my
word?
next
Fuck.
word. Back on track. My next word is another nice one. It's community.
Community.
Oh,
That's so
lovely.
nice.
Community.
My word is
Community gardens.
apocalypse.
Oh fuck.
No, I'm kidding. I like.
I was gonna say my word is next. Wait your turn, sir. Okay.
Would you care fancy a chin waggle?
Okay, so we've got ourselves. This is actually a pretty nice set of words so far. I'm quite content with this. I'm gonna add, glide to this.
Glide.
Glide.
Wait, can you say that one more time, Art, for the audience?
Glide?
No, I want to hear Art say it.
What word?
Glide.
Glide.
I love that. I love the way you pronounce it.
Listen.
Glide.
This whole stream could just be me saying words that you want me to say for the next like 2 hours.
I mean, it's kind of what
Oh,
the stream
God.
is, for the most part.
Well, if chat can come up with any nice words for me to say, I will say them.
Absolutely. I love hearing things in a Scottish accent, and not my crappy Scottish accent I do for character voices.
All that's happened to us so far is we've just been mocked. That's
Well, no, I'm not
Really?
mocking you. It's just for fun.
Why?
I just think the UK is a funny place. Like that's all I'm saying.
I try my best.
Okay, Red. What's your word?
Man, closure.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Like that.
closure.
Ooh.
Another. I have like a lot of cathartic words. I can't do like nice words. That's like against the darkness of my soul. I hang out at Hot Topic. But thank you for the follow, Conjury Club. Oh, I like that. I like
Conjury
that
Club.
name. That's a good name.
That's one of my players in my group.
The UK sucks,
Aw.
but only we can say that. Nathan, Red, I'm sorry if you get
Excuse
offended.
me.
It's banter, okay? That's what we have here in the United States. I don't know what you have over there in the Europe, but like,
banter.
yeah,
Terrible
banter.
patter.
Yeah.
Terrible
Yeah, we
patter.
have banter. We
Yeah.
have banter
You-
over. We know how to banter here.
You know how to do the banter here.
We know how to
like,
do the old banter thing.
Right, no.
I love you all. I love you all.
I wonder where that word came from.
So, yeah, that's so. Art, what's your last word?
Alright, would you like a nice word, or do you want a kind of a bad word? Not a bad word, but like a sad word.
um,
It's up to you.
yeah, it really
I
is
have
entirely.
43 of these fuckers to pick from.
It is a noble, bright setting this time, and we have literally no frame of reference for how this is going to go.
You would
so,
make me
by all
happy if you
means.
chose a really dark and sad word. I'm just saying.
Okay, I will pick the word that's at the top of the list. Abandonment.
Abandonment.
Oh.
See, that's a
Oh,
nice,
okay,
pleasant word.
okay. I like that. That's a good one.
Abandoned as
I
a pup.
like
He was found by
words.
Muriel.
He
Sorry.
lives in the middle of nowhere.
With her husband, Eustace Beck.
Creepy
recite
stuff
that whole
happens in the
intro
middle of
for you.
nowhere.
Listen, I can recite that whole intro for you if you want.
I love
Same.
Gary Gardner.
Oh,
That's probably
God,
why I'm as
so
fucked up as I am.
Ooga booga booga.
Howie
If I had a ukulele, I could play that. I can play the song.
ukulele.
Oh god, I can't. do
I
that.
love the way you said ukulele. Oh man, I'm so infatuated
Ukulele.
by accents.
Ukulele.
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 Cat sounds really pleasant when she says it. I just sound really angry.
Yeah,
Well,
Kat
not
just like
according to Red. He keeps being like, ukulele.
Look, we're Americans. We can barely speak English. Okay.
ukulele. You got a bit of a ukulele there.
Oh, do you got to get your ukulele out?
God, I feel like we're on the podcast with two time warped versions of Michael Caine. What's the next word?
I'm with you on this
my,
one.
my next word, I'm bringing in a little bit of British passive aggressiveness in. When we are having life-changing feuds, we call them a disagreement.
That sounds about right.
I think a bit of a disagreement.
You know, we just lost 500 men in a fight. We have a bit of a disagreement
Yeah.
here. It's...
Or
There's a
minor
mild
disagreement between countries.
Just a wee one.
I like how Kat's not even like upset about my like British accent. She's just upset that I have like the most mean
Just-
guttural
I've just,
sounding
you know,
British.
I've faced worse today.
My British accent isn't really that bad, is it? It's
That's
that
not
bad.
what I said.
It's not
We're gonna have a
bad.
disagreement about this.
No, but are you saying it's bad, or do you just not like it?
I'm not saying either. I think that there's some work to be done.
Sure.
But it's a good starting block.
That's a good starting block. I've gotten hired for my British accent, you jerk. My British
Is
accent's
that
mostly
why you
pleasant.
wanted me here?
Yeah, so I could
We'll
practice.
get there. We'll get there.
I could practice, yeah. I look like a member of ZZ Top right now.
Get me on for season 3.
And then I might
Season
pay you
three.
a
You
compliment.
don't work on a world,
And
you
by
work on an
then-
accent.
Do you want us to just open up every season? Is that what you want?
That'd be great.
Oh god.
We can make this a
All right.
I'll be like, nope.
No, I love this. I love this. I'm just. Oh,
He's from
my poor little
he's a-
brain is trying to
Omni's
process.
from Florida. He has less culture than a cup of yogurt.
No, the problem is I have so much culture. There's no food left. The yogurt's gone. It's just rot.
I like how Art lost his shit and Cat looks devastated. That's it.
Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna have my third weapon, my third word, which is weapon.
Okay.
So my third weapon, which is word. No,
Yeah,
scratch
yeah.
that. Reverse it. Weapon.
Crying.
Often
You
found
like that.
within a disagreement weapons, yeah.
Correct.
Disagreements
Thank
often do
you,
end in
Nathan.
weapons.
I
The
will.
word weapon is great because it's an insult in Scotland.
A weapon? Are you
What?
fucking weapon?
Your fucking weapon.
I'm not even doing a good Scottish. You're a fucking weapon, you. You
That's Northern Irish.
That's Northern Irish. Okay, look, I'm doing my best.
You do
here.
sound a little Irish.
I do sound a
A
little bit Irish.
Irish.
Yeah,
A little bit
wee
Irish.
bit Irish. I can do a good
A
Irish.
wee bit Irish.
I can do a decent
Oh
Irish
god,
accent.
I have an Irish friend who's gonna be so mad at me for doing this. I'm just gonna stop.
Oh, look at me, I'm Irish. Ooh, potato.
Oh
No, I am
okay.
Irish. I am third generation.
Wow.
I'm third generation
you
Irish.
wanna
I
have
can
a
say that.
disagreement.
No, I can
Oh,
say
you-
that. I am Irish. I'm like 80% Irish. I can say that. It's fine. Ooh, potato.
I'm not gonna argue this. I'm Hispanic.
See, I gotta follow for
and
that. I gotta follow just for that. Thank you. Thank you. Nah.
don't
Never Raven? Is that never?
He's
Never.
another member of my. He's another member of my D&D group.
Oh, lovely,
Nice.
lovely. Let's see.
So many people, so much content.
My D&D group is here. I can't drop spoilers.
Nathan said,
Oh.
"Yes, the mighty culture of Missouri stands up to great scrutiny as well." Well,
Yo, he just came for your blood, man.
didn't you live on the Kansas side? Yeah, I don't think so, pal. Okay, so my last word.
Oh Jesus.
I was really tempted to say my last word is offensive.
We explored that
Half-
already.
Half an hour in.
Half an hour in, and I am
No,
literally.
we're not. Shut up. We're not half an hour.
We are half.
We
an hour
are half an hour.
Oh no.
At least to our conversation, yeah.
in.
Shut up.
Boy, am I glad I tuned in for the Red is canceled stream. It's called Dancer. It's literally
Listen,
just
I'm
for
trying-
fucking fun.
Oh
I
no.
will try my best.
I'm waiting for Kat to be like, what the fuck is a Missouri? Like, Missouri is a horrible state. Let me just say that.
Missouri.
I like the way you. Okay,
That's
well,
how. Oh, me.
I
Is
like
that
that
that.
was one for you.
Missouri?
Thank you.
Because we're
No,
Britain,
no,
I'm
no,
pretty
let-
sure
no,
we just
I-
say Missouri.
No, it's like it's Missouri, right? But people around here say Missouri. I don't know why.
Oh.
Missouri?
Missouri.
That's
Like
Missouri.
like it's an AH. Yeah, no, it's or what do you H? Is that?
Huh?
No,
It's,
I'm
you
sorry,
know-
I'm just picking on you today. I'm sorry. I'm just being extra.
You are. And you know
leave
I've had
Kat
you know
alone.
I've had a tough day as well. So
Well,
you
I'm
know,
trying to
Leave
lighten
her
the mood a
Be
little bit.
kind.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And we know where we stand.
Don't-
We're having a disagreement. It's okay.
We're having a wee bit of a disagreement.
We're having a wee disagreement. It's fine.
I said we
You
one time.
absolute weapon.
You
Oh
fucking
my
weapon.
god.
Okay, my last word.
Didn't know that. That's
my,
awesome.
my last word. Everybody's
Oh,
talking
another
about me
word.
getting canceled. What are you gonna cancel me for?
Those
Well,
accents for a start.
Oh, my accent? My accent
Conversations
isn't
we had.
bad. Come on, I'm a voice actor.
Final word. Final word.
Final word canceled. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. What
The
could can-
final word is end, and
Actually-
you just click the button.
I don't want my final word to be canceled because I don't. You know,
No.
it would be funny.
uh,
So I have
the
closure.
show is cancelled.
Yeah, the show is canceled. After this episode, I don't know how we're gonna get much better. It's all
Internet
downhill from
cheat.
here. Yeah, I'm gonna be showing up wearing like potato sacks. Let's see. Hey, chat, give me a word. I came with 2
God.
words prepared. That's it. Canceled? No, you can't fucking respond to that. That's not fair. What are you gonna cancel me for? The guy who's about to get canceled. Shut the hell
Burnt.
up. mate.
Burnt's been. I've seen burnt in the chat for a bit. I'm gonna go with infinite for
Infinite.
your word.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a really good word. Nice one.
Okay.
Clunch. I love onion, and Bon. I love Zion. I love both of those. But infinite is so
Potato.
good.
Potato,
someone-
boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Has someone been playing Halo Infinite recently?
Yes, and very much enjoying it, despite its many flaws.
It's a good game.
It
Why,
is, it's a
why
good
can't
game.
you just let people enjoy things, Omni? Huh?
The internet
are
doesn't
you-
let me enjoy things. I have to participate or I feel left out.
Oh,
Anyway,
like Dinotopia or like?
yes, 100%.
Okay,
I
just
still
making
have
sure.
that book down here. It's all that book down here.
Okay, so let's Scottish Samwise Gamgee. Isn't what? Shut up! Stop
Excuse
making
me?
fun of me. I wanted to practice my accents in front of actual people with
Scottish.
said accents, and now I'm getting made fun of. Who's actually getting canceled here? I'm just saying.
Oh.
Oh my god. So,
Did Omni watch Porco Rosso? No, he didn't, because he's a heathen and a jerk. So yeah, we're
because
gonna-
I had 8 hours of sleep and then I walk into this.
8
Anyway,
hours of sleep. Oh, I have to be in
Oh
sleep by
no!
sundown.
Pardon me that I
only
walk
8
with a cane
hours.
and that I have a social security card. Anyway, let's get on with it.
Yeah, doesn't your
That's
you're
so
so
funny.
old? Your social security card has 2 digits.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Let's go over
Ah!
All right,
so let's go.
um,
No. I want to go over the inspiration behind each of our word choices here. So fortune, like
Oh,
art.
good.
Okay, yeah, let's do this.
So, I want to know what fortune. What were you thinking when you wrote that one down? Serious
So-
mode for a sec.
Okay. So, I am really big on like sailing and pirates. I am actually currently writing a campaign on pirates.
Hell
So, most pirates, want to try and make a fortune, and that was kind of the basis behind my main character, who's a self-proclaimed pirate queen.
yeah.
And all she wants to do is make a fortune. So I thought that's a really good word. First, like if you're imagining sort of a sort of port place, like if you want in Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a port that everyone goes to. All the pirates
Oh.
go to. I cannot remember the name of it. I can't.
Is it- is it
think
like-
The
of
Isle of
Tortuga.
Tortuga. Well,
Tortuga.
There you go.
There we go. So I thought, well, that's a great word. Why not? And I added it to my list.
Yeah, no, fortune's a powerful word too, because there's more than fortune. Wow, I can talk. Fortune is a word that can describe more than just like material wealth. It could be like a fortune of wealth, or a fortune of Red bullying his guests yet again.
While
bully
wearing
me.
2 hats
I will
and
bully you back.
sunglasses.
What can I say? I am 2 hats and a sunglasses cooler than you. I'm just saying.
It just looks like the Invisible Man's just doing this on top of you.
I totem pole.
That's too-
Oh my god. Sorry, a couple days ago I literally watched the stupid like
I'm gonna take the
that
hats
stupid
off.
movie. Oh my
I'm
god.
laughing too hard. And
Why
I,
I said that?
no, I'm taking them off because I'm like, I have to like maintain posture while I'm losing my shit laughing, and I can't do that. I just can't.
I literally watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen a couple days ago, and now I have that stupid movie in my head again.
Anyway,
Oh god, I like that movie too unabashedly, but it's so bad.
That is such a good film.
Oh,
Oh, God.
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a fantastic
It's-
book.
that sounds like a
What's
porno. Anyway, Kat, what's your reasoning behind the word tradition?
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Tradition. Well, I just thought like it might be interesting to try and explore a bit of history and of often you can tell a lot. So I can't get through the sentence. You can tell a lot about a civilization by their traditions. So I thought that might be a good one to explore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm actually gonna say something about the UK that isn't mean or offensive. So hear me out.
What have you done with Red?
You okay?
Okay, I will insult the UK. I mean, like, you have plenty of fuel.
It was the hat, wasn't it? It was the hat.
It was the
that you
hat.
did.
It was the hat. Yeah, it was. It hurt my feelings so much that I'm gonna say something nice. So, well, like British like food and cuisine. I know British cuisine gets a lot of slack, but I'm a cook. I literally went to school for culinary, so I know it's not that bad. So,
Was that your nice?
no, I mean, like, look at and what I was gonna say is traditions can come from other people's cultures too. Like in the same way that like curry, like the best place in the world to get curry is Britain, not India, where it came from. Like the best curry restaurants in the world are in Britain. So just like that, but it's
banging curries in Britain.
I would love some.
It's good.
I've been dying for curry, but yeah, but Americans are weird. A lot of Americans don't like curry because they're stupid. But you know, if you have an opinion and it's not mine, it's probably stupid.
There's a reason I'm being silent. There's a reason I'm being silent.
No, but
makes sense.
You live in a giant swamp, Omni. Shut up. So like
I do, and it's terrible. Like, don't live in a black magic deck, everybody. Find any other color and live there, but not swamp. It's terrible.
I don't see color, Omni. But I play Eldrazi. But like what I was saying is tradition can like it can be something that like goes back really far, or it could be something that like is borrowed from another culture and it just so loves, you know, it just sort of integrates itself, even if it didn't mean to. Just like bread sandwiches. Anyway, sorry. Do you even
Well, that
know
was
about,
one word.
do you even know about bread sandwiches?
No.
Those were invented in Britain. I'm not
So
kidding.
like
What?
a sandwich.
No, it's 3 slices of bread.
What?
With like salt and pepper. Yeah. I'm serious. That was invented in Britain. Look it up.
We're all surprised it exists, and 2 of our guests are from the UK, so
What?
I would just like to put forward that this is obviously not a popular delicacy in Britain. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
You say that, but like Kat's just like holding her head down, eating her 3 slices of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do excuse me, just going off camera.
I can't really speak because Scotland has some very weird food.
I've always wanted to try
Yeah.
haggis, but it's actually illegal here in the States.
What?
It's illegal
Haggis
because
is
it's not
illegal?
technically sanitary.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, because it's made from, you know, intestines, so it's like that's not technically.
That's what we tell the tourists. Not made from intestines.
Well, traditional haggis is made from like stomach, isn't it?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fucking 300 years ago, maybe.
Oh, well, that's fair. Fuck.
Well, what's
Uh,
it made from now?
Well, it's made from
just
probably
oatmeal
something.
God.
and spices and mince. It's
Oatmeal.
great.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Haggis is pretty neat.
Oh, that actually sounds really nice.
You guys have just went.
Okay. I want to just say before you start, that's what we tell the tourists. Okay, I genuinely believe that's what you tell the English. That's okay, because I've grown up believing that haggis in Scotland they eat this.
oh my god.
There's no fucking
We're
way
all
it
just
isn't made from.
suffering
No,
tons
no,
of
no,
things
no, no.
there.
There's like classical recipes of using like intestines.
Shit.
No, that's real.
Oh my
you are
God.
fucking with me, and I don't appreciate that. You bastard.
You're just trying to get me to try it, aren't you?
I want to try it. I can't legally
It's-
like make it
Ugh.
or whatever.
I
You
don't
can't buy it
suppose
from
any-
most people. Back to the
I
show.
have one
Good
more.
point, Will.
Okay. Okay, back to the show.
Oh, should we go back to the show?
We should.
Right,
maybe.
we are technically live.
That's alright. That's alright. It's a different kind of show. For a different kind of.
Look at the burnt coin trying to keep us in our place every so often.
Will's a homie. I need somebody to keep me grounded, and Omni's not doing that, so I guess I should get a different co-host. Anyway,
Because
Omni, what's your,
I don't want to just be the party pooper all the time. Let me have a little party.
Whoa,
Okay, let the
whoa.
old man out of his house occasionally.
But
It feels bad.
It's my show.
All right, step up to the lip. Let's go.
All right,
All right, so next word. I guess that'd be mine. The next word would be sleek, and I'll take the reins here. Because I guess I'm back to being the party pooper. Thanks, kids.
Aren't you like
so
47?
oh my god. So my ever increasing age notwithstanding. So I went with the
49.
word sleek
Sorry.
because one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I'm really drawn to the tech ideas of this setting, and I love the idea of focusing on the design aesthetics of technology, but also how that kind of comes from the culture itself. So like if you think back to like the 1940s, 1950s, when we had that atomic age stuff everywhere, even into like the 60s, everything.
American. We're talking American. I don't
American,
know.
yes.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the Buck Rogers style, Jetson style design. Everyone always thinks, oh wow, that's a very specific art style. Then you realize like literally everything was designed like that. Literally everything, from chairs to shag rugs, the interior of the houses were smoothed out and rounded and made to appeal, very smooth and sleek. And I kind of like the idea of that. I had a piece of art that I put into the that we put into there
And
into
I'll
the writer's
scroll
block
up
thing.
so all
Yeah.
the fans at home can see it.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
like see the design aesthetic I'm going for the technology in the setting, or at least for some
Oh,
of
I
it in
love
some.
that.
That's
Thank
so
you.
Odysseus, thank you for
Yeah.
the follow. Honored to have you here. How's that?
Cool.
Yeah.
I love
this
that
is-
thing.
This thing.
Thank you.
was
I literally
talking
did
to-
that shit last night.
I was talking to Omni
Looks
about what a
loaded.
fucking death trap this thing is. Could you imagine like
Yeah, no.
front ending something? It would go like this. It would like clap into the wall. Oh man, it's like
Yeah,
stubbing
no.
your toe.
This thing is the equivalent of like the Great Gatsby car. So like, is this thing technically better, faster, better engineered than anything currently running? Probably. Would this thing utterly kill its pilot if it so much as nicked a lamppost? 100%. Like, there is seatbelts in there, but I guarantee they won't do shit. They'll just decapitate you. But I love the idea of, like, exploring how this is a noble, bright setting, and the people in it are aware they're living in a steadily brightening, better day. So their technology is very hopeful. It's the same reason I chose the word... glide.
Hopeful or
love-
reckless?
I mean, a little bit of
Bit
both. Like, really, hope and recklessness kind of go hand in hand a little bit. When you're
so
feeling
you're an-
confident, you become reckless.
You're an is it
So-
player, is what you're saying.
I mean, I would if I could ever bring myself to have that little attention span where all my deck is instants.
Okay,
But that's
okay.
just me.
Oh, wow.
you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad Kev isn't here. He would chew you a new one. Gerrymandering.
No, I love every guild. I love every guild. Anyway, next words.
Gerrymandering. Let me put on my my
No.
good eyes.
Your good eyes. you
My
mean?
good eyes, yeah.
No. Eyes.
Eyes. I look like Ozzy. I look like
Oh my
Ozzy
God.
Osbourne. So actually can't read shit in these. Gerrymandering is an American political word. It's a lingo. It's sort of a word that was made up to confuse the common people. Because, you know, politics are supposed to be for everyone, except for everyone. So, what gerrymandering means is it's sort of like a unfair division of territory, sort of set about by politicians that are trying to get very specific amounts of people to vote. Gerrymandering was very much a thing during more volatile times in the United States. More volatile times. It's always been fucking volatile here.
It's still happening every year.
Well, particularly during the civil rights movement, when they were trying to... Gerrymandering was a thing that was done to make sure that they got white voters. That's literally what it was. And it still
Right,
is,
yeah.
and it still is like that. It is very much still like that. There's a lot of...
Yeah, it's still in effect, but
yeah.
it came into being really, or came like into the public spotlight at that.
Yeah, because they want to get certain interest groups, white men, to vote on certain things, you know, because like that's just the way this country is. We were built on racism, but and
boy.
inequality. But I won't
It's
get
the
into that.
political show.
This is the political part of the show. But no, gerrymandering is a silly sounding word for a fucked up thing. So also I wanted to throw off my European guests. So
That was 100% of the motive.
that was the
behind
motive
word.
behind it. Yeah. I'm gonna let my dog in, but Art, go ahead and explain why you chose gardens.
No.
What do you mean no?
Okay.
Fucking go.
No.
You're
Wow,
like
we have
so
reached
much-
true chaotic levels
I
of
just
evil.
wanted to see what would happen. I just wanted to see what would happen.
I've never
so-
seen Red look that mad.
I love the energy in this stream
Red
today.
was just like,
So
what do
good.
you mean no?
Right, listen, this is my show now. Here we go.
Oh my god, I got jumped right over too. I thought it was in the will, but okay. Anyway, continue.
Who's in the well?
So, nothing.
Go on. Sorry, I know you're talking.
Literally nothing has progressed while you were away.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
I heard Omni talking, so I knew nothing good was happening. Let's...
I'm the least of your problems, Red.
Why did
So-
you choose gardens?
I chose gardens because I recently got really into. I play 5e a lot with the people who are in the chat, a couple of them, and I really got into sort of learning about druids in the different circles. And I was fascinated with this idea that the entire community was kind of based around a druidic circle who sort of built a garden to worship, and then it slowly expands out as the circle gets bigger.
Yep.
And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world, so gardens.
Yeah, and druids actually come from Gaelic folklore. That sort of that shamanism and that druidic lifestyle, particularly from Irish, but
Exactly.
Scottish were busy making cool shields and daggers
We
and
were busy
stabbing the
kicking
shit
the
out
shit
of
out
each
of the
other.
Romans.
beating the shit out of the Romans and killing each other on the highest hill. Like, you see that hill over there? Yeah, let's go fucking
That's
kill each
my
other on it. Let's go.
That's
Yeah.
a fucking hell.
Doc- is that where the saying "die on that hill" comes from? I'm curious. I gotta look that up now.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe
a great question.
Could be.
is this.
I'll
Could
look
be.
it up. While you guys talk about your next word.
Speaking of
Whoa.
words.
Okay. Community. I chose community because I was kind of, after I went with tradition, I was like, oh, let's go for something else that's like nice. And I don't know, I just kind of, I just thought the idea of a community sounded really lovely. It's such a stupid reason for choosing this word. I didn't really have a backstory prepared for these words.
No, that's
And
fine.
then
You can
I'll
just
tell
bullshit.
you
That's
my
what the
third
show's all
one
about.
because we're
What
in
do you think
chaos.
I've been doing?
For disagreement, I literally just looked at these and I thought, oh, well, traditions kind of bind communities together, but like, I'll go with disagreement because I feel like I have to have some conflict in there as well.
Well, yeah, and I feel like disagreement's like a very obvious word to have with tradition, because tradition can often hold back progress and hold back like new age sort of ways of thinking. And we're living in a sort of we're in a turn, so this is sort of a Renaissance age. So yeah, I think disagreement's a very good word. That pairs very well with your other two words. Odysseus says, "I'm really sorry for being late, and maybe I would know this already." Well, tough luck. No, I'm kidding. But who came up with the list of words and for what reason? Each of us came here with 3 words. Some of us with more.
Stop it.
But each of us came with. We have 3 words. We laid them down. We're sort of going to be using these as trains of thought for what we're going to be world building. This is a freestyle sort of like improv world building show where we do yes and. I will very often not say. I will not often say no to something, but
And
Omni's
usually we'll just adapt it.
I was
yeah.
gonna say Omni's usually the person that like suggests things that I say no to. So
Yeah. And he just razz me largely. So
42 is always the best amount of options. I agree.
You're fucking damn right.
No, well, JJ, thank you for explaining.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
yeah, no. Honestly, we should probably lead with the description of what the show is in the future, since this is a new season and there's plenty of new phases. But
Well, but I don't.
today
want
was
to.
chaotic energy day, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But,
Show? We're in a show?
but what if I
I
don't?
really apologize for. I told you like ages ago that I bring such a weird chaotic energy to everything.
It's a good energy. I love this.
I'm
I can dig it.
100% blaming Artemis for this. It was not
Yeah,
my last episode was not this chaotic.
No,
I'll take it.
You know, because we had Neil here. Neil kept me grounded. Art is just
Neil-
feeding.
You were warned.
Neil
Feeding
kept
my-
everyone grounded. Neil was
Yeah.
like, listen everyone, be sensible, be calm.
Neil's
you're
used to
making me
dealing.
steam focused.
Neil's used
that's
to
a bad
dealing
day.
with children. I am a children. He was just like,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, then get your shit back together. Come on.
Neil went
Fucking
into
get back on.
teacher mode. The biggest thing we had to worry about with Neil was maths. There was a lot of maths.
Yeah, he threatened me with a ruler, and God, I was quaking. But so Omni
Bless chat, thank you.
Omni's been very patient today. Shut up!
Omni is.
I love you, Naris. I'm just fucking.
You
I
all
can
are
see
great.
I can see it bubbling. I can see the rage bubbling.
All right, how
You
about
know, honestly, the good news is I focus it into the world building, so we're
Despite
gonna
all
see
my
some pretty
rage.
gnarly stuff today.
okay? So
Yeah,
so
great.
explain to me glide and weapon,
Okay, so yeah, I'll pop into that.
because you picked
so
weapon as a word for last season too,
I did, yeah. I think it's an important word to cover
because you're an original.
Yes, but also because it's depending on how you take the word, I think it sets the whole setting. I genuinely believe that every single setting, narrative tool, anything ever that ever had conflict ever, there is a weapon involved. The question is, what is the nature of the weapon? Is it words? Is it a blade? Is it a gun? If you even use like the same kind of thing, where like, okay, weapon is in the physical sense. The type of weapon you use sets the tone. The difference between a space opera in one hand and a space opera on the other, Star Trek with phasers, where they're clean and neat, and they never focus on the actual fighting. It's like 5 seconds of zap effects, and then one person dissolves, we pretend that they never exist in the show. Or Star Wars, where you have a lightsaber, and there's like a 45-minute sequence of dudes doing backflips, beating the shit out of each other artistically. And that's really the focus of it.
That's Power
It
Rangers.
determines... Right, it determines where the energy of the setting is. Is the focus on the conflict, the resolution, the creation of it, or the actual fighting of it? So that's where weapon came from. I think it's something we need to talk about, whether we discuss what place weaponry has in this setting, if it has a place, or the nature of the weaponry in this setting. Whether that even should be words to sway people. And as far as glide goes, one, as the image that I made earlier indicates, this is a setting where ground effect vehicles exist. So I'm thinking like in that vague zone of like, it's kind of like a Star Wars speeder, but it's a little bit less advanced. If anyone's ever watched the anime, Last Exile, I kind of think of the Vaughn ships a little bit in that. And if anyone hasn't, don't worry about it. It's a really long anime. Don't bother yourself.
Okay.
But I actually like it. But the general idea is gliding both in the physical sense for the technology and exploring the idea of potentially the beginnings of air travel, as well as also the idea of gliding as a concept, things being smooth and gentle. This is a positive, noble, bright setting. Things are getting steadily easier, and I think the glide works with that. And that is the mindset behind every one of my words.
That was.
I came to play, kids.
You did.
Um,
Oh, look at you. Just tearing it off. Look at you with your fancy words and your cool hair and your hands.
I got 8
face.
hours of
Alright,
sleep
alright.
last night.
All right, pipe down, gerrymandering. Okay.
Hold on. Gerrymandering was my father. My name is pork barreling, which is an entirely
Aw.
different political term that I was
my
explaining to
God.
Art.
We had such a discussion.
I had to explain to Art what pork barreling is. Kat, do you know what pork barreling is?
Oh my
Hint.
god. The less you know of American politics, the better for your entire society.
I know it sounds really like phallic, but it isn't. It is actually a political term.
I wasn't even thinking that until you said
Well, Art was
So
thinking it.
I-
Art's over there like.
I was like, do you want to tell me that again?
They're just like.
run that one by me again.
So who do we have left to explain the words?
I think it's mostly you. We still have closure, abandonment, disagreement, and infinite are the final words we need to explain. I know infinite was pulled literally from the ethers, so that's one word we don't need to worry about.
Okay, so abandonment. Explain that one.
Abandonment. So,
That's a
Right,
question I didn't
need
think
to-
I'd be asking on a stream today.
Explain abandonment to me.
Abandonment. Well,
so
it all
when
goes back to my childhood.
when you get taken away from no,
Oh, okay. So,
So-
this is Merriam-Webster.
all right, so I need to give it a little bit of a backstory because I picked this word because I write every year since I was 18. I have written a poem about each season. I kind of went back to it every 3 months and wrote an extra like fucking 12 verses or something like that. And my recent title was The Abandoned House of Artemis. So I chose that word because it was the first word that popped into my head back last year. It was last January that I picked it. And I thought, what better way to start off this all by picking a word like that?
Yeah, it's a word that everybody can relate to. You know, we've always felt always some of us, but some of us, all of us have experienced some form of abandonment. It's a really powerful word, and it can mean something as simple as just like, oh, abandoned by somebody that was significant to you, or it could be something abandoned like, oh, this country was abandoned by these people were abandoned by their countrymen, or like they're abandoned by the government, that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's a powerful word. It's a really good word.
I like it. It's nice to say as well.
Abandonment's like it's a satisfying sounding word for how dark and sad it is. Closure, I mean, honestly, closure ties in really well to abandonment. Closure, just sort of that feeling of relief. So one of my first words was cathartic. So closure is just that sort of satisfaction of relief. So like, you know, something has come to an end, there's an agreement or a disagreement or some sort of compromise, and everything has come to an end. Infinite, I came up with that one when I was thinking about this show. It's a word that's like...
So I will say, actually, Coin was kind enough to give us his reasoning behind choosing Infinite, which is super cool. Yes, quote,
nice.
I did Infinite because Season 1 was about scarcity and I wanted the opposite feel. And that is really freaking great for us asking you guys for a word to pull out of the ether. So thank you, Coin. That was
Will
great.
is so hard to like banter with, because he's just like, I like make a jab and he's just like, I'm like, oh damn it, it didn't land.
Will
well.
straight shoots in a way I can't. Like, I wish I had the cool deflective capacity that Will has.
You can't get me. You just said you...
I thought that Coin might have chosen the word for how long he thought this stream was going to go on.
Okay,
for.
look here, fucker. Like,
Oh god.
I love you guys.
Okay.
You're a lot of
Just
fun.
want to hear.
Yeah, no, seriously. This is like pulling the veil back for a second with the banter. I love every moment of this show. I truly do, guys. There's never any patience issues. This
Aw.
is wonderful to me.
Aw.
So that's for all you folks in the chat too. I'm glad
Aw.
I'm here
You're
every
getting,
day.
Oh, you're getting so soft in your old age. Anyway, let's start the
You
roll
know
call.
it. So first
in more
word.
ways than one. So let's.
Who wants to go?
Uh,
Don't go there, Red. You don't want to challenge me on that front. Anyway, so
I'll go.
Wait, we're rounding down.
Wait, are we just picking words? We're picking the ones that we like now, right?
You
Is
know
that
what?
correct?
Fuck it. Yeah, just pick ones that you like. It doesn't matter. We're not gonna do the round.
I'm picking. We pick 3.
Sure, I don't care.
yeah, you can as many words as
I'm
you'd like.
asking the rules.
No,
Red.
okay, well, there is no rules. That's the trick. Well, we were rounding it down to letting people pick 2 words out of these that they like. So if you want to continue doing that, that's fine.
2.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm gonna pick fortune, and I'm gonna pick. I'll go with community,
Community.
which is one of my words, but sod it.
That's fine. That's just a casual flex. You know, you're really proud of yourself. It's okay.
I am. I'm really proud of myself.
Community is a good word. Not a good TV show though. Let's see here. Controversial. So community and fortune. Those words don't. I mean, they could go together. It's just not. That's not the first 2 words I'd put together.
I
but-
didn't know they had to go together.
No, they don't. I'm just like,
now.
I just
No,
like
we
thinking in
don't.
that way. I like thinking about how they
Pick
go
again.
together.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Do it
every
again.
single time we see words show up, we're in our heads doing the connection points between them. We're already writing, so like you're good.
Well,
Those
when
are
you,
good
when
options.
you've got someone coming up with like gerrymandering to try and like throw you off, you've got to try and throw them off back.
You know me.
Oh god.
Oh, hello,
Played this
Cassie.
game before.
Welcome in, Cassie.
Oh, Cassie.
Yeah.
I see you on Twitter all the time.
Cassie is
Interacted with you. I'm sorry.
absolutely a delight. I need to have her on as soon as possible.
100%
I got
agree.
it. I'm gonna banter with her a lot more because like Nathan Reckless Attack, he was my sort of like testing like my limits of what I can banter, and now I'm pushing the envelope. I probably will get canceled at some point. I'll probably say something like "you're stinky" and like somebody will get really upset about it. But
Yeah. I will do my best. You know what? I just need to have like a keybind button that just mutes the entire stream or gives like a funny word like a duck horn or something on it.
Cassie just
Like-
said, "I am stinky." So, wow, you do live near St. Louis. So Art, what are your 2 choices of words?
You've given me a lot of time to think about this.
You pick 42 fucking words. You can pick 2 from here.
I can't do it, Red.
Do it, you bastard!
That was good. That
Thank
was
you.
really good.
Thank you.
Nice.
I like closure
Hmm.
and glide.
Closure and glide. See,
Every time
Cat
someone
setting-
chooses one of my words, it gives me a little power.
See, Cat,
So-
setting an example. See, they didn't pick any of their own words. I'm just saying.
So can I change that second one to?
I'm giving
Take
you
it
a chance here. I'm giving you a really.
Do you know what? I can remember the first episode that I came on, and Red was so gentle. He was like, "You could, you could pick one of your own words if you like. That's absolutely fine." The moment I'm on episode 2, okay, whoa.
I'm off the
was
deep end.
gentle
Look,
with you.
look,
You can
I'm
still
off
pick
the
your
deep
own
end.
words. We're just so jaded. We razz people for literally anything at this point. It's
You
not
know
good.
what? You know what gets
Man.
views? Nice Red doesn't get views. It's me bullying people that gets views. That's what people stay for. Also, I'm.
You're like a
completely-
different person now.
Yeah, it's because it's.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Scary.
He evolved, okay? It's Digimon. He
It's-
was rookie
it's-
level, now he's champion level, and ultimate level, he's gonna get himself floating metal shoulder pads. or
Cat, it
something.
has been a literal year since we've done the show together.
Holy.
Oh
shit.
my god.
It's been a literal year since we've done the show together. I haven't seen you since last year.
Red, get out. So,
Sorry.
because it's 2021. Yeah.
is
no,
February
yeah.
too late for that? Okay. But-
Why are you trying to confuse me and confound me like this? I don't.
Okay. So we have our next choice of words has been selected.
Okay.
I shall weigh in on mine very quickly. I see that we have. I'm going to go with gardens because I think it's phenomenal, and I'm going to go with infinite. They're both great options. Coin. I had to choose it. Well done, buddy.
An infinite garden.
Infinite was my
Yeah.
word. I don't know why you're giving
Guard.
him credit for it. Let's see here.
Red. That was a great word that I'm glad you got.
Thanks,
that you
fella.
got a
I
chance
came
to
up with it off the dome piece. Everybody's just like, everybody's out here like, Red, you used to be so nice. I'm like, I was never nice. It was a game.
He
It was
was-
a ploy.
It was really nice to me before we started streaming. Like, 'cause
Well,
I
the
was
difference
really
is-
nervous about coming on the
Fame
show.
changes a man.
Okay, so here's the two. Here's the
Lull you
tiers.
into a full
Second
sentence
you
of
got
words.
on this show, you're like, fucking Europe.
Europe.
Oh, Blake, yeah, you're up in that. Well, see, the thing is, I've had Kat on the show before, so I know I could like tease her because Kat's like really sweet and like passive. I'm a bully, so I gotta take
Passive?
advantage
You're
of that.
You're just
Passive.
mean.
No, you're like really kind and like
I'll
quiet.
show you passive aggressive.
That's the
I'll write you a
British.
strongly worded email later. Just you wait.
Yeah, so would you say we're having a bit of a disagreement, which is one of the words I'm going to pick. So.
Ah,
Hey.
nice segue.
Thank you.
Segue.
Yeah.
Infinite
You're
community
just choosing one of my words to placate me, so that you
Well, maybe.
can keep me on the stream, so you can bully me again later.
Well, you know, I need views.
Ooh. Ooh.
Thank you for the gift sub. I totally don't deserve
I
that.
feel used. I should be getting paid for this.
I'm not getting paid for this, so wait in line.
I want paid for
Okay.
this. Hold on a minute.
Okay,
You have
You know
you
what?
got my face reveal. I should get money for this.
you're so right. If I had any.
This is where we put our profits.
Thank you
if
for
we
the
had
gift sub.
them. Yeah.
It wasn't for you. It was for Nathan. You don't gotta keep gifting
Oh,
subs,
Jesus.
JJ. Thank you. You're a sweetheart.
Thank you, JJ. That means a ton.
Like I said,
We haven't met. Hello.
hello. Hello there. So what's my second word?
I don't know. What is your second word?
Chat. What's my second word?
Oh,
Well, we're
Oh my
waiting for
god,
that.
Red.
This is the 10th episode of this. I'm done. I'm checking out.
I'm gonna say there's one word I'm looking at, and if you leave it on the table, I will reach to the screen and use so hard.
I didn't.
It's
ask,
such a good word, and
I
it's
didn't-
not mine.
I didn't
You
ask
can't
you.
pick your own word.
Well, I could. I could. Well, Infinite's already picked. Sleek.
You know, I appreciate that you chose mine. Okay, I'm good with that.
No. Clunch chose that. I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, Sleek and
Good.
Ellen, they're the first person. What word were you thinking about? Were you really in love with
Abandonment. I
gerrymandering?
love the word abandonment. It's so damn good. You, just
Alright, well, we'll come.
whatever we don't do here is going to be done on Chip Off the Block.
Oh, you're
so like it will be tossed.
You're
about.
giving me indigestion.
I will stay for that.
Well, Well, hey, if you want to be on Chip on the Block, I mean, we literally do whatever the hell we want on that show, so we could have guests on. I don't care.
It's true.
Artie's just gonna stay on here. He's just gonna stay.
I'm just
He's
gonna
just gonna
live
stay
here.
by the camera waiting.
This is,
Yeah.
this is my
One
channel
of these
now.
days, you're going to be tuning into Chip in the Block, and it's just Mario Party, and we vaguely are talking world building while we're killing each other.
I
Like,
mean, that
that's what it's
sounds
doing.
about right, honestly.
Listen, this is now my offshoot channel.
Yeah, but full disclosure, Omni and I hate each other. We don't talk after the show at all. We just literally just be
No.
like, have a nice day, and then we just like leave and we never talk to each other.
Don't make this false
Really?
Jacksepticeye, Markiplier mythology crap here. No, absolutely not. A full stop.
Thank you for the gift sub on that note. Why do you keep gifting
No.
subs, JJ? Thank you.
Lunch
No,
is
we
calling,
actually
I'm gonna
love
be
the
the
crap out
second
of each
co-host.
other.
I didn't
This
even-
show
yeah,
literally exists because we had like a 3-hour conversation when we should have both been sleeping, and we were like, just next Tuesday, let's do it. That's it.
That's
Like
true.
next Thursday.
And now we don't talk to each other anymore. But
Yeah, no, famous changed us.
not at all. Yeah, famous changed us.
Well, I could already tell that about Red.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, see, I got a little bit nicer. Omni put on like, I don't know.
I got like
I mean, look
got
at
a
the
couple
guy.
pounds.
Look at the guy. He's put on like 300 or 400 pounds. You know, like
I
he's.
have a lot more gray hair since the start of this.
I
Oh.
got nicer. Look at him.
Listen,
I'm like,
Aubrey,
I'm
you-
like an American Ricky Gervais. But except I'm not
I
as
love-
mean.
I love Clunch's thing. We know Red and Omni are secretly getting married by a dark cultist ritual in Las Vegas. No fanfiction here, only facts.
I would not want to get married in Las
I'll
Vegas.
write that fan fiction.
Oh
Oh,
god.
okay.
I want you to rate that fanfiction.
I
Alright, I
encourage
need to read
you.
that.
I encourage
God,
you not
that's
to.
that's
Um,
Blahnik and Blaile's level of fanfiction. We don't need that.
I encourage you not to. But if you pay me, it's fine.
You
So
don't need to pay him. No, I'll
So
be your
let's
lawyer
start-
here.
So let's start our formal world building. I think is what we're
Okay,
trying to
yes.
get.
I'm cheap, $20. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. Let's pick a word and just sort of run with it.
Fight for less. Sorry.
All right, guests. It's almost always on the guests, as I recall. So
Yeah,
shall
it is.
we?
It is on the guy. So Art
No.
and Cat. Yeah.
Stop.
Yes. Don't say no. It's your choice. You get to pick.
I've already done that joke, Cat. You can't use that one.
I'm sorry. Well, I think in my last episode I went first, so I think that Artie goes first this time.
No.
Well,
No,
we're
you
breaking
go
you
first.
in. Say me
Oh,
go first?
fuck.
Fuck you. It's a guest time to pick words. You pick a word, Art. How about both of you pick a word? How's that? And we'll combine the two.
Okay. We can
We'll combine the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what's that stupid
Hmm.
Gundam anime that nobody
Well-
cares about?
Guess what we're having right now, and I think is the perfect time to bring this word up. A disagreement.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so
Yes, that is
Segue.
the energy of the moment for sure.
and what are we having a disagreement on, Cap? That's a segue.
I
You're
chose
supposed
the
to
word.
Oh, oh, sorry. I just thought you were.
segues
answering
these
the
cool
question.
things where you like transition
I
to
was
keep
like,
the
I
show
don't
moving.
know. What That's what I've been trying to work out this whole episode. We're having a disagreement on if you want to just go like gardens and just be like, this is my garden. No, it's mine. But I just feel like it's a
That is
bit.
the most English thing.
It is very English. I feel like I'm showing my roots there. I think I'm kind of drawn to the idea of like a disagreement maybe between communities.
Ooh.
Also, like
Community
a
and disagreement.
Oh. So we'll put community.
Or within communities, like we talked a bit about that earlier, and maybe just
Well, yeah, and we can tie even more words into that because like those two words together actually create a lot of conflict, and that's good writing. Oh my gosh, Red is so hilarious. Do not feed my ego. That is just a little bit of a, from me to you.
This is
Odysseus, no.
it's a diesel train. It's a diesel train. It's already got plenty of fuel. If you give it more, it's like a steam boiler. We can't put more coal in. He's gonna run into the train. He's gonna go into the station and off the rails, and like we're gonna see it on the news tomorrow.
That's for Chip.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more passive on Wednesdays. Whenever I have guests on, I just have this urge to be a dick. Well, that's new actually. New year.
These
new
are
me.
great though. This is a great. These are a great pair of words though. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
glad we got this.
And a great pair of guests. If you guys want to support
Yes.
their
Go on.
work, Ty Artemis is actually a streamer. A
Hello.
streamer here on Twitch, a fellow streamer. So if you want to go check out their
Good.
stuff, it is Ty Artemis. And if you want to check out, if you like world building, I don't know why the fuck you'd like writing if you're here, but Kat is
Why
a
am I here?
fellow a fellow writer, and I will drop their
Sometimes
links.
I write when
Sometimes I write when I'm not, getting
when I'm
bullied
not
by Red.
distracted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm such a distraction to you. I will definitely drop you guys' links in the chat. But that is a segue for you.
Already
to tell
on
us
it,
I do
Chief.
that. No, that's my
Oh, yeah,
job.
Omni beat
No.
you
Okay,
to
there
it.
we
No,
go.
no, you've been beaten to it.
They
Yep.
beat me to that one. Stupid. Let's see. Um,
Yeah,
folks,
okay, there we go, Red. Thank you.
folks, just so you know, we are live right now with Writer's Block. Just
Are we?
Believe it or not, this is
I
in
thought
fact
this-
writer's block.
so.
I thought this was a recording.
Uh,
Oh god.
it
Where's
could-
my Resident Evil gameplay?
So,
Resident
okay.
Evil.
So we were talking about community disagreements, and like the first thing that has to come up is we've talked about it already in session 0, Red, which is that there's like really one big primary already agreed upon disagreement in the setting, which is the old warmongers and the more modern noble bright folks that just are done with war,
Yeah.
moving away from it. So that seems like the obvious place to start, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
let's let our guests run with that,
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't have any ideas. But
Oh.
no, I'm kidding. I have plenty of ideas. I just want to hear my guests talk.
Then you should go.
No.
I need something to leap off of.
Okay. Well, Cat, on the spot.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that like in terms of that, I guess my questions would be, so the older generation then were kind of warmongering. What is the war continuing? Has it finished? So, or is it that the newer ones are trying to push the idea of finishing the war, but it's still kind of ongoing?
The war has ended, and it's been, what did we say, Omni, 5 years since the war ended?
About, yeah. It's we're only 5 years into this new era, as I recall.
It's like a
Yeah,
World War
it's-
One, World War II-esque situation
Are
where people are
we
afraid of
in
another
sort of
war.
like Cold War territory where everyone's like, oh yeah, the war's ended, but there's still a lot of that like hostility and hatred, because war doesn't just end like and then everyone's best friends again. It's like, I think it sounds like we're in like quite a big transition period
Yeah.
between so it is a good time for definitely like I think that if in the old world where these wars would go on, the whole thing would be about communities banding together to fight against everyone else, to fight against other communities that they disagreed with. Now that we've got these younger people that are sick of the war, it's actually now it's kind of the inverse. The communities have stopped fighting each other and they've now started fighting amongst themselves, because the kind of older generation are like, no, we should still be fighting, and they're bad people and they killed so many of our men and all of this, and the younger people are like, but we should stop because it hurt us a lot, and we're in a much better place now that we're no longer at war. So I kind of thought it'd be interesting to explore this, like where this transition and how that has affected each community in turn, because if they're now disagreeing amongst themselves for the sake of not disagreeing with each other, that's quite interesting to me.
Okay.
Gosh, I just managed to get out like 3 whole sentences without laughing.
No, that was great. That was great.
I love that. Holy
It's because I'm
Well
not.
done.
It's because I'm
Sounded
not
serious.
being a jerk while you're
I keep catching my facial expression, and I look like I'm like delivering a lecture, and
Well, that's kind of
No,
what
thing. This is
sort of-
anthropology in practice. Like, you're good.
Yeah.
I really
Um,
like that.
That's a
That's all I have
$3
to
word.
say. Oh,
All right, so here's your jumping off point.
it is my jumping off point because I really like Kat's idea. So I love the idea that you're talking about the older generation and the younger generation, and the sort of the older generation being really pro-war, and then the younger generation wanting to stop it. But what if on that point you had another set of communities who were not the opposite, but like the older generation were really teaching the younger ones, like, oh, you should go and fight and take these territories. You should like be. We should be expanding essentially.
Right. Okay. So we
like-
have. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's sort of that patriotic, that sense of patriotism, where it's just like we should go back and resume the imperial age and just say screw our neighbors and just take their territory that was rightfully ours to begin with, right? You know.
Or
Exactly.
what if we had the inverse in some? Because I think there's a like in that you would think of it as the older generation of the bad guys. They're teaching or trying to put forward this idea to the younger, like, and the younger people are like, oh no, war is bad, we should be happy. But maybe in some communities the older generation are like, oh, the war was terrible, it's a good thing that we found peace. And the younger generation, who were kind of raised from children to be like, these people are bad, and then all of a sudden, oh no, they're not bad anymore and we should stop. That could be quite confusing for them. And they might push them to be like, oh, everyone's vulnerable and we've been raised to be warriors and to fight, and we should go and strike while the iron's hot. And the older generation, like, you might find in some communities it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
Where the older generation would be seeking peace and the younger generation would be seeking war.
So there's a lot of inverseness, like, when it comes to that opinion. It's just like the old.
I like the idea of it exploring how, like, and maybe, I mean, I know we're looking kind of at generic world building at the moment and not trying to get too deep into stuff. I
We can get as
from
deep
the
in as you
last-
want.
No,
We can get as deep
That
as you
is an
want.
artificial thing. You can get as granular as you want. We're building a world. Take your pick on how you want to do it. We can start broad. We can start
like
specific.
the idea of, like, maybe this place being about, like, kind of transitioning viewpoints about growth in some ways, or indeed the opposite, like just about, like, trying to find this, like, oppositional thinking, and how what is now a peaceful world is still having to deal with these very conflicting viewpoints, conflicting ideas on how to do things, but maintain the peace, because, like, who wants to be the first person to kick the hornet's nest?
Yeah.
You might find yourself if it might go right and you could end up conquering, or it might go very wrong and you could end up having all the rest of these very peaceful communities just turn on you. And so it would be interesting watching, like, what I liked about what Burnt Coin said earlier about, you know, I like the idea of this place having infinite because the other place had a lot of scarcity. I felt like with the other place, I feel similar in terms of this. This seems to be more about, like, this feels like there's a lot of, like, development and it feels like a nicer environment and a nicer place where people could thrive, and it's more about human interaction and human problems rather than environmental problems that they're having to deal with. Like, it's not humans versus the world, it's like the world is fine, it's just humans are now having to deal with each other.
Yeah, it's a lot less of a situation where you're just, like, nonstop fending for your survival, and more so you're just trying to, like, we're surviving, we're getting by, but it's just like, how do we thrive? So yeah, like, this is a turning age. So there's about 30 odd some years of war, and before that, an incredibly invasive and very strong, and I'm trying to think of the word. Very, like, invasive is the word, yeah. Invasive.
It's a different kind of apocalypse to the one that you spoke of before. It's like,
it's
before it was very like, oh, the world blew up and there was fire and brimstone and thunder and all of these environmental
This is
things.
a cultural apocalypse.
Yeah,
This is
kind
the
of, like,
complete upending of the norm, which was war,
humans
and
have
now war is
completely
over.
torn each other apart, and now it's like they're kind of feasting on the scraps and getting back into where they were and learning how to thrive as people again within their lives and not just within the landscape.
Yeah, it's an age of humanism. It's a turning point in culture. So it's a renaissance, as it were. So this is a lot more of a setting where you're just like, I'm gonna kill my neighbor because he took my toast. But this setting's more of just like, I'm frustrated with my neighbor because they just can't let the war go. Elvin Firefly, thank you for the gift sub. You guys are so nice. Thank you.
Oh, Firefly's here.
Seriously, it's been
Hey.
so nice.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I should
Um,
do more early streams from now on. I get all these really great UK viewers.
Europe.
Yo,
Europe
yeah, no, the
people.
Europe viewers were
Europe.
amazing.
Oh yes,
I-
my
I'm
favorite,
used to
the
seeing you
Europe.
guys on my streams. You're great.
You're awesome, guys. Hey, you're awesome. How's that?
No, you're breathtaking.
Europe awesome.
No,
You're breathtaking.
Omni kind of looks like Keanu Reeves.
Listen, that's my
I swear to God. So, fun fact: when I used to work over at Five Guys, every day I'd come in, they'd be like, "Hey, look, it's John Wick." And as my hair got longer, it got realer. And as I got more tired, it got realer.
Bring Keanu
I actually
Reeves on
like that
episode
too. Because that was the thing we talked about in session 0 was like what were the wars fought for, and it was largely for material.
Yeah, it's for-
But the advent of
fuel
like
resources.
leyline tech and the geode engine, which is kind of what that whole floating cart thing is about, have made the old diesel technology outmoded. So now we're working towards this new geode tech that doesn't require a natural resource that's exclusive. Ley lines are everywhere, their power can be easily conducted or readily conducted. It's sort of a democratized energy source. So when they found that, it basically ended the need for all those wars. But it's kind of like it's like a lot of imperialism. Imperialism isn't designed around what it says it is. It's dishonest on its face about its goals. People oftentimes think of imperialism, they think about, oh, well, they're doing it for, like a cultural pride thing. No. Almost
about
every instance of imperialism is economic.
Yeah, it's mercantilism. It's about
yeah.
making money for the pride of the country, right? But it's at its core, it's capitalism, it's greed. You know?
Yeah, which is the reason why pretty much every single war that's ever ended and the civilization that was in it didn't like it was a war that they didn't benefit from. World War II is viewed in America often well because it led to a massive economic miracle on our part and turned Japan, a former adversary, into our strongest overseas ally. And it gave us there's more to it than that, of course, but like that's the broad strokes here with that. So in this setting, war has ended, but all that propaganda they spent hundreds of years using to justify those wars for diesel power, now people are contesting with that and the real social damage that does. And I think that's a really good thing to work on in this setting.
Absolutely. Art, do you have any thoughts on this? Because you three of us
I'm
have
very
just been like,
pensive.
politics.
See, mentioning the fact that America saw World War II as a sort of good for their economy, it's kind of the opposite for the UK, I think. As far as I'm aware, in the UK, especially in history classes, they were kind of taught that it was like the biggest financial travesty, one of, in UK history.
Oh yeah,
So-
World War One
Yeah.
and World War II were horrible for Europe. Period. Like they destroyed Europe. They needed the
And I
United
find that-
States to help rebuild twice.
I mean, we basically got to fight in a war with none of the consequences, whereas, save for soldiers dying.
Wow, World
like-
War II was like highly consequential for the United States. World War One, we just walked in and cleaned up.
Right, that's broadly
Say
what I
we,
mean.
But,
Well, I mean, like, my comparison to
Fred
Europe,
was there.
people who lived in the people who lived in the actual theaters of war suffered the consequences of that war more directly than the U.S.
yeah.
The U.S. has never had a land invasion of its space since the Revolutionary War, whereas Europe and Asia, basically every other continent on Earth, cannot say the same.
That's technically
So-
not true, sir. Japanese invaded
shit.
Alaska.
Yeah, but they're not going to
Checkmate. You're dumb. I'm smart.
Going to march
End of
to
show.
Washington D.C. through Quebec. Okay, like that's the point.
Well, I mean,
like-
and Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Like.
They didn't land here. I actually remember I was reading a thing about.
Well, they didn't
World
land.
War II.
But yeah, like.
And even back then, like all the movies we see where they're like, where the generals are all around the table, we don't know, they might invade. That wasn't happening at the time.
Nobody was
Even
worrying
no one
about
thought the Japanese were going to invade us.
Japanese
knew-
were. This is getting tangential, but we'll come
Yeah,
back
it
to
is.
it. But the Japanese were actually afraid that every single American had a gun, and I'm not kidding. That is the primary reason they did not invade the continental United States, because they thought that even children had guns. So everybody there was like a militia ready to defend themselves, and they weren't actually that wrong.
They just needed to
But-
wait 50 years, and they would have been right.
Yeah, it got really bad. But let's get back to somebody said something. Odysseus said, not trying to start a political debate. Wrong place for it. Right place for it, actually. This reminds me of the war Palestine and Israel. They've been fighting for so long. Imagine how the younger generations feel about war. Yeah, they're just tired. You know, like they just want the conflict to end. Like their grandfather's conflict is still going on, and it's just like it's interrupting their lives now. You know, like by interrupting a lot of people's lives. So, you know, I can imagine there's some tie-ins for that, but. Honestly, I think community disagreement. I think we're good on those two words. If we want to move on to another word or a pair of words, whatever, I'm gonna let Art pick.
You want me to pick first?
Mm-hmm.
What do I look of? Well, do really like the word fortune. Whoever picked that word is
A handsome fellow, beautiful, handsome and beautiful.
Very humble.
Listen,
They're strapping young lad. Let's see.
Clever and brilliant with a bright future in front of them.
I hope so.
And an excellent bass player.
Okay, but yes, so fortune.
Do I pick another one or
Yeah.
is it someone else's turn?
You can focus on as many as you'd like.
If you have an idea, just run with it.
Yeah.
I was gonna combine the words fortune and glide somehow.
Okay, that's a bit of a challenge. I like that.
Color me interested.
We like challenges.
Listen, I am a poet. I am not a writer.
I'm a writer,
Don't
not
look
a
at
poet.
me.
Hey, don't look at me, cat. Or cat and I, excuse me. Let me use proper English. I'm a writer, after all.
I am a writer.
I am a writer. I am American.
Oh.
It's my American accent.
I am trying my best to buy time here, by the way.
We know.
We'll do it for you.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
Doing great.
See, I can tie the word fortune to community and disagreement, but not glide. I've kind of fucked myself here.
Well, no, if you have a train of thought, let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Don't worry about glide. If you have something just with fortune,
Yeah,
go for it.
go with it.
Okay, so we were talking about how about essentially comparing it to World War One and Two, where it was like different places had different kind of financial states after the wars.
Yeah.
What if there was a sort of part of that where there was ones who felt like they had lost a lot more than they bargained for, so they're kind of setting out to find that kind of extra fortune that they lost. Again, that kind of ties in with what we've been talking about already. But like having it as an offshoot rather than being a community, being like a band of travelers, I guess you could call them, that sort of have left that kind of state of the world and tried to find something different.
So they're like Roma or the Tankers of Ireland, is what you're saying. They're sort of just like they're
Essentially,
wandering now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an
Wanderers who
interesting
don't really
concept.
belong to a community.
Yeah, they just sort of have their own little
Nomad.
subculture. Yeah, nomadic subculture. I like that because that's a very real thing, you know, especially in Europe. Yeah, there's a lot of that happening in Europe. Some of it
I
here
mean,
in the
that
States.
That could tie into this kind of idea that some people feel a bit unsettled without the war and not really sure. Like if you've gone from having like you're fighting over energy, diesel essentially, and then suddenly this whole new power source has been opened up and it's infinite and you don't have to worry about that anymore. Those that have the mentality of that kind of opportunistic mentality might feel a bit strange about that and be looking, or I guess like seeking their fortune, looking for the next best thing, looking for something that would give them an edge over other communities. Because right now you've gone from communities warring and some having more resources than others and people trying to kind of like tip those scales. Now everyone's like on an equal footing. No one has more than other people, and there will be people that will feel resentful towards that, or they will feel like they're owed more in life, they're owed more than that community. I just kind of, again, I'm just really interested in this, like what people's mentality would be after a war. It's not all going to be like, oh thank goodness peace is here. There are going to be people that are going to feel really resentful. Maybe they've lost a lot during the war and they just don't feel like they've been paid back for what they've lost, and that some people, that other communities that lost very little still have the same as them. and that will make them in a way resentful. So they might be looking. I kind of like the idea. This is kind of feels quite steampunk, diesel punk era. And I quite like the idea of just these like big. If we're talking about like fortune hunters, like nomadic, like these big I guess like vehicles, kind of traversing, and they're almost like, in my mind, they're almost like scientist types as well. They're trying to find the next energy source, trying to find the next big discovery that will give them an edge over other communities and that will put them in a position of power that they feel that they're owed, perhaps.
Okay.
See,
That makes. I was just gonna say that makes me really think of Mortal Engines.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
don't
kind of-
bring
Someone
that
else
up
said
with
it.
Omni here.
Oh.
Listen,
Oh.
I brought it up. I brought it up once in an episode before in the chat.
You made a
I
great
Bring it
mistake.
back.
Omni,
It's so
after the
arrogant.
show, Omni, you ever hear that meme about Warhammer 40k players like nonstop talking about the lore? That's Omni with
Yeah.
that stupid movie.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't-
Yep.
don't
Have you
know why.
watched it yet? Have you
No,
watched
and
it
I
yet?
refuse to watch
Fuck
it
off,
out of
we'll talk
principle.
about it.
It's really good. You're missing out. It's
Is
such
it
a
really good?
film.
I've heard nothing but bad
It
things
really
about
is
it.
a good film.
It's
I promise.
actually a pretty decent film for what it is, which is, you know, it's, you're not going in there to watch War and Peace. But anyway, like, the point is, I like that though. That is a good point. And honestly, that does gel with the technology in this setting. One of the things we talked about in session 0 is that with the advent of the geode engine and the use of leyline energy to make these new sleeker vessels that don't require a diesel powered engine, they don't need gas, they can go anywhere, they have a truly democratized energy source. Diesel engines were not. They're big, thick, oily, heavy machines. And honestly, like, I kind of like the idea of them all being sort of like wartime designs, like thick and heavy. And I wouldn't be surprised to see like maybe some of these cultures, a lot of their vehicles are these thick, heavy, like rugged vessels for traversing large areas, and they're just straight up war surplus.
Yeah. So
And
they're like very different to like the sleek kind of feel that you were thinking. That's the thing. Oh, another reference that I kind of think of is I kind of think of Howl's Moving Castle a bit, just like the way that castle moves around. I just love the idea of just like lots of those. And some really like eccentric personalities on board, because they're not necessarily like bad people. I don't imagine them being like mustache twirling villains walking around like, we're gonna find the next one. They're fortune hunters. They're like bright-eyed, and they're trying to like make their way in the world, and it's not necessarily from like, oh, once we get this we'll have infinite power over all these people, but they'll have something. They'll feel like they had a discovery that was theirs. They had something, and that they didn't have to share it, or they can share it on their own terms. Like something about that just kind of appeals to me. Yeah.
I
have
the,
go ahead, Brad. Go ahead.
Shut up.
Jesus.
I'm kidding. But seriously, I like the term bright-eyed, because like that's such a nice term, right? Because the first thing you think of as bright-eyed is just like they're hopeful. You know, they're not just like, oh, we're down on our luck because we're having to like pick up scraps and attach them to our moving castle, and all that sort of thing. But they're not like downtrodden because of the fact of like what happened in the previous years, what transgressions had happened in the previous years, and you know, all this sort of stuff that their previous generations brought upon them. They're just like, nope, we're gonna make our own way. Pride is such a great word.
Maybe some of them really just want to make the world an even better place. Like maybe they're inspired. Instead of they're resentful, they're inspired by the fact that, oh, this new technology brought everyone together. Maybe I could find something like that would make the world an even better place.
These guys are literal trailblazers.
I'm gonna put this out there. This little like group, this community, sounds like the perfect place for the discovery of the ley lines and the geode engines to have come from. Why give it to the bigger nations that were fighting for decades that have no incentive to create this technology?
I am gonna name
Uh,
them trailblazer.
Yeah, like give it to the Trailblazers. They're the ones who
Maybe
found it. They found
the
ancient like ley
Trailblazers-
lines, the old ways of accessing them, and now
Yeah.
they introduced everyone else to it, and they're like, oh, well, this kind of changes everything. Everyone at first was like, okay, this will be great in the war, and then everyone's like, why are we fighting? They answered our energy problem. We're done.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
every department of defense worldwide collectively let out a sigh of, okay, I guess. Like,
Yeah, maybe the Trailblazers were a really small group of nomads before that lived outside of this war. Like, they didn't want any part of it, and they found this thing that they were like, we could bring peace. They managed it, they succeeded, and now there are much more of these Trailblazers because there are people that are inspired by them and what they discovered. So they used to only be a really small group, but now they're like, oh, there's other groups. There's lots of groups of nomads that are like inspired by or call themselves Trailblazers, or that just kind of, it's almost become like a bit of an organization in a way. It's like a they've kind of gone, well, we will also dedicate ourselves to the cause and remove ourselves from civilization so that we can pave the way for future generations, type thing.
Art, you look at you had a thought there.
I have many thoughts.
I myself am a thought, so continue, please.
How dare you? I didn't really have much to add to that. The cat pretty much just said everything I was thinking.
Oh,
if I'm
okay.
honest.
Well, do you have anything? Anything you can add on to that at all? Or if
I
not,
did
no
have a
pressure.
thought like 10 minutes ago. I did, but the conversation kept going and it was going really nicely, so I didn't want to jump in.
Did it have anything to do with Mortal Legends?
No.
I'm just trying to like
I don't-
retrain your thought.
I'll come back to me at some point. I'll just raise my hand when it comes back.
Red, can I say my thought?
Listen, I lose my train of thought a lot, so don't take that as I'm not listening.
literally every other word out of my mouth this stream has been, it's like that shit, I can't remember what it is, and then I vaguely describe it because my brain is a sieve.
Yeah, I thought I
So-
was bad. You're just like, you are making me
remembered-
look like a genius.
I remembered my thought.
You remembered your
Oh.
thought? Excellent.
Oh.
Okay, great. It just had
Yes.
to take me dissing on Omni for you to remember. That's excellent.
That's how I remember everything. No,
Okay.
so it was basically you're kind of comparing like some of the people on the outside of the communities as sort of Viking raiders as well.
Hmm.
And you could have them as being like very angry and just kind of like invading random territories to take things away from them as well. Like as you could do.
Also,
like
you're
Vikings used to do.
you're suggesting like a more hostile version of the Trailblazers. They're just like
Essentially, yes.
your culture. We like that. We're
So this
taking
is
it.
the villainous Trailblazers. Like there's two. There's two.
There's
Or just like
always
the
two.
scarcity-minded ones.
The Blaze
yes.
trailers, not to be confused with Trailblazers.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
scorched earth would be an appropriate term for this group.
The-
The
Ooh.
scorched earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that, actually.
And like when you see them, you're like, are we looking at a Trailblazer caravan, or oh no, that's a scorched earth. We got to avoid them.
You see a
It's
pirate
there.
flag drop? Nope, skull and crossbones, skull and crossbones.
Maybe that's the distinction right there.
Listen.
Maybe that's like the divide with the technology. Like the Trailblazers are all using geode engines now. All their tech is slowly becoming sleeker and more pleasant. But these old ones are these warmongers are still like driving the old hostile tanks. None of them are modified. They're
They're like the,
intentionally using old tech.
They're like
so
the
cool.
they're like the sky pirates from Porco Rosso.
Sky Pirates! I love pirates. I'm
From
sorry.
Porco Rosso.
Has nobody seen Porco Rosso?
You keep talking about it like as though
No,
as if
I-
everyone knows about this
It's a
obscure
Ghibli
movie that was
movie.
old when I was young.
When you said Sky Pirates, sorry,
Me.
I thought of the ones in Laputa. That's why.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
Laputa Castle in the Sky had Sky Pirates. in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's quite
No.
beautiful. Actually.
I was like, when you said Sky Pirates in Porco Rosso, I was like, I didn't immediately connect. I just thought, oh, there's Sky Pirates in Laputa. He said a different film, and then I.
Yeah,
So-
the Seaplane Pirates is what Red is talking about.
Yeah.
Scorched
I
Earth giving me
immediately thought-
Mad Max Fury Road, Big Fiery Death Machine.
Yes.
I was
Like-
about to say that.
100%.
Literally Mad Max.
I for once
I
will
just
stand
love the
on Red's
idea that
side.
they have that like movie moment where like people are just walking through and they're like, oh, we haven't found civilization for days. Oh look, it's a trailblazer train. We're saved. And then someone's like, nope, run.
No, run.
No, no.
The opposite.
Stretch time. Shake those shoulders. Pop those bones. I will gladly do that.
What are we doing?
Ah, yes.
Stretching. They redeemed a stretch.
I
They
don't even
and
know if you can
hydrate.
hear my. And I
Dude,
hydrate. I
Neris
don't
and
have a drink.
JJ?
I drank my drink.
Naris and JJ, dream
Gross.
team. Seriously. The
I
hydrate
haven't got
stretch
a drink.
squad.
I
Oh,
have a
There's
slightly like
nice.
I have a slightly like darker idea of like where Scorched Earth.
you
may
have a
came
dark idea? That's a first. You try to be
Yeah.
so pleasant,
Wow.
and then you're just like, now
I am quite
apocalypse. I'm
wholesome
corrupted
normally.
by
Well,
Red's
I just
horrible.
thought-
We had an
record.
idyllic utopian society for literally one night, and it is now already with a warmonger
It's
fact
Mad Max
on
again.
board.
I
Yes.
tried to make it House Moving Castle, and then we kind of.
It's
I love
fine.
it.
I love it. It's not a bad thing.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's cool to like mix these universes up. Why not have House Moving Castle and Mad Max? Like,
Yeah.
What about Wings
they
of
both
Icarus?
exist.
Walking castles. I
but-
don't know why, but that's giving me Wolfenstein vibes.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Like fascist moving castles. How's that?
Me-
Oh,
Wow.
Man in the High Castle. How's that? Look at that. Wow.
Oh, crikey.
Okay. Oh yeah.
It's just got real dark. Never mind my dark idea. That's
Let's just go with Red's horrible, fucked up Nazi thing. Like,
Jesus Christ. No.
Can we not?
So-
Can we just not have Nazis?
I'm okay with
I'd
not
rather be-
with not necessarily needing like explicitly fascist iconography in our setting. I think GW does that plenty.
well, no, but they'd be villains in this setting.
I mean, they're always villain. I've never seen a movie.
I've
Oh,
never
that's fair.
seen them as heroes.
No, I was gonna say,
Wow.
wait a minute. No, we were literally just talking about GW.
Avida
Yeah.
bodies?
Yeah.
Uh,
So the warmongers are basically still fighting a war no one else is fighting, and it just
Yeah.
turns into raiding, basically.
Viking Raiders.
I thought that maybe during the war there was these like bands of like mercenaries that would be like for hire for whichever community could afford them, and they like built up this whole community, this whole reputation. All of their riches, all of their strength, all of their power came from war. Like they profited off of war essentially. And when war goes away and no community wants to take them in because they're not, they're not promoting that peaceful, they profited off of those communities for so long in order to help them win their fights. The communities will feel like, oh, you used us so that you could gain power and gain and you want us to take you in, but you were trying to kill our men 2 years ago, and there'll be a lot of that.
well, there's that.
And also, I think that they'll have lost
Yeah.
everything, so they'll still have all these like war machines and stuff, and they'll have like no home as such. There'll be no place for them in this new utopian society. So I really feel like the only thing that a group like that would do would be to become like ravagers of like pirates, to become like they would traverse between communities and try to pick them off and use everything that they trained for, which is essentially being warriors, being burly barbarian like warriors that could win battles, and that would be like the rest of their lives. That's all they know.
See, I'm getting like really strong. Now, bear with me. I'm getting really strong German vibes from this group because I know. Hold on, let
Yeah.
me explain myself. Before
Hold
Germany
on.
was one united nation, it was like a group of separate like kingdoms, right? Germans were incredibly known for being mercenaries. That was like one of their biggest things that came out of their country are mercenaries. And even up until the Revolutionary War, the Germans were helping the British and the Americans. And there's a particular group of Germans that came out of Germanic, I should say, not Germans. They're Germanic people, but because that was before Germany was united under one sort of flag. They, you ever heard of the Landsknecht mercenaries? they're a very, very famous band of mercenaries. I'm not saying they'd be like, you should know this, but like, it's from a lot of my
I'm sorry.
dorky ass research. They wear these really frilly and like bright outfits with like feathered caps and stuff like that, but they carry around like Zweihanders, like giant swords and like pikes and stuff like that. It's called the Lanznacks. They
love
were
them
like,
already.
they were some of the
I
most
love them.
famous mercenaries from history, period. Because these guys, all their, all their fellow men would be wearing like breastplates and like armor and like padding. They would wear frilly ass outfits. They didn't care. They were some of the most like
Hell yeah.
scary bastards on the field. They wore like what we think of as like a clown outfit now. Let me see if I can pull up an image of it on stream real quick. Lons.
I love them.
Oh no, they're great. Like they are honestly, they're an inspiration behind a lot of my characters because I think they're just so cool.
I mean, I'm always really like into when I watch films and stuff. I'm always really into like costume design and stuff like that. So just reading like everything that we've come up with, I can just like picture in my head how like I I would make them look aesthetically.
Yeah. I have this pulled up on the stream so folks can see.
I'd
me
love to see.
Fix this. a little
Ah,
bit.
yeah.
Oh wow!
They're colorful
You've
looking.
given me.
Yeah, I see them. Yeah, that actually directly inspired the Empire and Games Workshop. I didn't even realize it, but I can clearly see
Yeah.
it straight up.
No, that like
Ah.
Games Workshop. That's the entire inspiration behind the humans.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
It's actually really
didn't know
cool.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah, but
I mean, also,
love
let's be
these
real.
guys.
When you're carrying a two-handed greatsword with a almost 2-meter long reach, like wearing the armor is really less concerning than the fact that your weapon can behead a horse and no one's gonna come near you for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
They were intimidating, but they were stylish while they were doing it. That's the cool part.
Mm.
I'm
mean,
terrified of you, but damn, that hat looks good.
I mean, yeah, no, that right there is a
Damn.
billboard. That's a billboard.
Damn.
Ye old billboard right there. Hey, who are those
old
mercenaries
advertising.
utterly kicking ass over
Ye
there
olde
with the
advertising.
insane, crazy, bright outfits? Oh, those guys, long necks. Oh, gotcha. All right. And every time you see them from that point on,
Did you say
know.
long necks?
I call them long
A
necks, yeah.
Mad
It's-
Max Pirates of the Caribbean and Howl's Moving Cars.
Yeah, well, because
What have we done?
That's the inspirations behind it. Like, well, because like,
I love
here's
it.
the thing. Good thing about being an artist is, you can draw inspiration from anything as long as you don't get caught. This is us getting caught. But
Oh,
Right.
shit.
I mean, this is us just openly saying this is exactly what I'm imagining.
yeah, no, I mean that's yeah. Like we need to draw inspiration from things. Speaking of inspiration, actually, this has nothing to do with inspiration. We are nearing the hour 4:50 mark, so let's take a little bit of a break, about a 5 to 10 minute break, and we will reconvene. Folks, if you like what you're seeing here, consider dropping a follow,
Do it.
and if you want to subscribe, if you have the scratch to give me a sub, I would much appreciate it. All that goes right back into the show. I haven't gotten paid yet. Twitch, I'm coming for you. Yes. Threat. But no, I'm kidding.
Oh,
You hear
shit.
that, Twitch?
You hear that, you
Coming
bastard?
for you.
Give me
I
your
went
money.
for your money.
But stay tuned. We will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. If you guys have any prompts you can think of, I'm talking to the audience in this particular regard. If you have any
I like
prompts
this
for
part.
us, I love this part.
This is
So
my favorite part of the show.
I love it. So, folks, one-word prompts, the same thing that we did right here. If you can think of any one-worded prompts to put into chat, put it in chat while we're gone. We'll catch up on it, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Writer's Block.
That's great.
That was
There you
awesome.
That was awesome, man.
Hell yeah. I'm something of a musician myself.
Hold
I
on.
was a drummer.
I'll get my flute out next time.
I didn't slap. Shit.
How dare you laugh?
What do you mean? How
Slap
dare
the
I?
bass.
I didn't know you were a flautist.
I'm a flautist.
I didn't know
well,
that.
I mean, I was a long time ago. I don't know if I still remember.
Oh, so you're a flutist now, is what you're saying?
No, yeah. I'm an imposter now.
God.
I was about to make an Among Us joke. That's how crippled my humor is.
I didn't slap the bass. I'll do it next time.
You'll do it. You will do it next time.
Yes.
Slap
That was
it right now.
fantastic, by the
Give-
way.
give
Thank
it
you
a-
for that
Give
awesome
it
playing.
a slap.
You want a slap?
Slap it.
Can we get a
Slap
W in the
that
chat for how
mic.
awesome that was? Because that was pretty awesome. Dubs for the chat, please.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
See, yeah.
There's the
W
W's.
W
There
in the
they go.
chat. Look at the writer's block
There
in
you go.
chat. Yeah, let's
Oh yeah.
I'll grab my
practicing.
ocarina.
I'm practicing for my stream actually.
There's
Nice.
I got a drumstick somewhere.
Sneak preview there.
I was a
Essentially,
percussionist
yes.
one time. Can you tell?
I have
Yeah.
a physical thing in my life.
We we now need an intro every time Artemis is going to say something like an amazing announcement.
I'm just gonna have you on every single show just to do an intro from now on. Like,
Honestly,
It's like the David Show band, is what it is. Like,
you'll be my Questalo.
Fuck it.
What do you mean, fuck it? Are you that like I guess I'll do red shit. Like, yeah, fucking this dumb bastard from the United States, just fucking.
I will happily do it.
Oh,
Make
no,
it like a sound command.
oh,
make it a
what?
sound command. We put our points into it. Oh God.
Make it a
That'd
thousand.
be
Make it,
fun.
make it a
Oh,
1,000
that's
points.
a
There you
cool
go.
idea.
1,000. Okay. Well, we got
I've
prompts.
derailed it again.
We do. We have so many. You guys were amazing.
Yeah, you guys really flooded us with prompts. Thank you. Don't do it again. Let's see here.
Do it every
I love
time.
catching people when they start drinking. It's my favorite.
You son of a bitch.
No, that was a really cool intro. Thank you, Art, for doing that. That was
Seriously, that was
probably
awesome.
scared the shit out of people, and honestly, that's what I like.
That energy, though, right?
On my Magic the Gathering stream tonight, like when I take a break, I'm gonna come back and be like, "Hello," it's like really loudly.
Scream into the
Welcome back. It's like peak the mic. Okay, so we got plenty of prompts to work with here. Let me put the Ghibli music back on. Prompt therapy. Wow, we are happy people today, I suppose.
Well, that was the first part of the first half, yeah.
Therapy.
Yes.
That was therapeutic. I like bullying. Bullying people makes me feel better about myself. So
I knew it. I knew
I
it.
can't help
You
but
are
be
a bully.
I can't help it. It's not my fault.
music is my therapy.
de-establishmentarianism.
Disestablishmentarianism, and that was a word I'm sure. Was that literally chosen seriously, or was that done because you wanted to put one of the single largest English words in the English language on stream for us to struggle to write?
Either way,
So they
it's going
didn't
down.
try anti-disestablishmentarianism.
That is
That's
the
right.
longest word we've
Longest
had
word.
on this stream.
I'm sure it's the longest word in the English language.
It is a real thing, though. Like it is a real thing, and it could apply to this.
It might be the
So,
longest word in the English language.
it's one
I'm
of
sure
them.
it is.
There's some longer ones, but it's one of the best ones.
Let's see. You have Jeremy Irons said every word's the longest word in the English dictionary. Let's see here. That was a little Hollywood joke for you people out there. Let's see here. Hon hon.
Both. Gotcha, roleplay. Gotcha. That's fair.
You get a single ha.
I'm so fucking funny.
Ah.
Lol.
Raffle Lamal.
Laughing out loud.
Yes.
Okay.
Laughing. My fucking asshole.
You just sounded like the British Siri. Laughing out
I
loud.
just sound like Siri, don't I? Okay, laughing out loud.
Wow, that is
That's uncanny.
alarmingly spot
Oh,
on.
shit.
Actually,
That is
I
uncanny.
spend a lot of time around Sarah.
Oh dear God.
Oh,
that's fair. That's a big move.
We actually had some questions too.
oh, cool.
Yeah, those all work.
Odysseus says, "What do you think representing the characters of your stories as animals instead of humans?" See, I'd make the furry audience happy, but I'm not dissing on furries. I have so many friends of mine that are furries. I don't know why furries get so much hate. They don't deserve it.
Yeah,
it's
no, the
literal
community's
fucking
awesome.
Nazis. Okay, hate on them.
Well, yeah, no, straight up. Like, if you're gonna ever talk about a community that has given more money to artists than furries, I have yet to think of them. Like, straight up. There's so many artists that exist only because furries exist. So, unabashedly, thank you.
No, but Odysseus, like I said, the question is like, what do you think of the characters being represented as animals instead of humans? Yeah. What species am I? Monkey.
You are already an animal.
I mean, like, it's not a bad idea, though. It's something that I've played around with a little bit as well with, especially for archetypal characters, it's not a bad thing. Like, I had a hunter in Legacy who literally, their call sign was just the Jade Rabbit. And so, like, but it works. Like, if it's a motif you run with, it's not a bad one. Hell, humans have done that even prior to the establishment of what we consider furry culture. Like, literally, the desert fox. A lot of the times it's titles. Hell, Porco Rosso, with the inspiration you were using earlier, is literally a main character who's 50%, who seems to, like, gradually slide between human be pig. So, like...
Have any of you ever played Wonder Home or heard of Wonder Home?
Wonder Home. Isn't that those guys at isn't that one song that everybody plays on guitar?
Oh my god.
No, Wonder Home is a
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, Red, Jesus Christ.
no.
Not Wonderwall.
Okay, I quit.
It's been nice having you.
Yeah.
I
Oh, is that
understand.
the time?
Oh, I've actually
Wonder
seen
Home.
this. Yeah, it's a really
Wonder Home is a TTRPG, but it's a really cozy one, and actually, like, a few of the things that we've discussed have kind of given me Wonder Home vibes because it is a post-war setting and everyone lives peacefully, and it is about like these sort of you play as nomadic animals going from place to place and exploring all the different like meeting communities, exploring all the different like landmarks in the area and stuff, and it's about like seeing what the effect of war was upon those places and upon those people. It's actually a very fitting game to be talking about, and it's very cozy, and elements of it do like now I'm just like, oh, Wonder Home with Howl's Moving Castle, yeah.
So
like
Wonder Home's like Redwall then.
But I don't know the reason why I originally suggested it is because it's animals. You play it, you're an animal, you're not a. So I'm playing a play-by-post Wonder Home at the moment, and I'm a slow loris. And I have a little pet firefly. Because essentially in it, the bugs are like animals, because animals are like humans. So you get like these massive great dung beetles are like your ox, and
yeah, just like
like,
Omni.
100%, yeah.
A great dung beetle.
I'm ignoring that comment. Thank you very much.
Let me catch up on chat. I used to be furry, but I shaved. Thank you, Ginger.
Fuck.
Now
Listen,
I really want to make a Howl's Moving Castle like expansion or supplement for Wonder
Do
Home.
it.
That'd be so cool.
Okay, so yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Okay, we can talk about that after the show because that sounds really cool, actually. JJ, do not call me Monkey Man. Let's go. But yeah, back to that question. Honestly, I like. To be fair, I like animals representing human characters. The thing is, I feel like this setting would benefit from having humans. It would feel a little bit more grounded for that reason. I am all for Diesel Punk Star Fox, but I just keep talking myself into this. But okay, I'm something of a furry myself. No, but
the secret.
hey, secret's out. I'm a furry, I guess. So Odysseus, something fell. Not valuable. Don't care. What do you think? What do you think representing the characters of your stories as animals instead? Okay, yeah, I read that question already. You had another question, right? Or am I crazy?
Huh.
Also another
Um,
question.
Can't you be both?
Why not both?
let's see.
Throw those humans out. See, the thing is, I feel like once you take humans out of a setting, it sort of loses its seriousness. I know that sounds like that's a really profound statement to make. I know that's very controversial.
Oh,
I think the important
that's the
thing.
most controversial thing you said all night.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Black Sad is literally one of the darkest, saddest things I've ever read, and it's literally just a cat getting the shit kicked out of him in I can't remember the name of it, the Mouse comic that just recently got banned.
Mouse. Well, yeah, in fucking Tennessee.
I don't want to hear cat abuse. I'm a cat owner. That's not what I want to hear.
You know what they're doing in Tennessee? I bet a lot of people there can't even read. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Um,
if Tennessee could read, they'd be very upset with you.
In case you're wondering what fell off my shelf, this is a Pac-Man puppet, a hand puppet.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's cursed. I can make its eyes bulge out of its head like a frog.
The fact that the eyes are red is what makes it cursed.
That's old school Pac-Man. He did have red eyes. He had like marijuana eyes. Like man was token, like up the, you know.
I mean, okay, fair.
Is this the therapy prompt we're doing right now? Is this
Baby Yoda? The Grogu.
I mean, like, so I think the important thing, my point on it would be, if you can use animals instead of humans, then the other side of it is, is there anything that's really gained by making them animals instead of humans? And usually it's done as in my experience, it's a contrast, right? Like, okay, you have these adorable, Richard Scary-ass characters in a more dark or serious world. What made Redwall so compelling? It's adorable mice who brutally murder each other with swords. Mouse Guard is a story about adorable mice fighting terrible things. Usually it's used as a lighthearted contrast to a darker setting, which actually doesn't make it a lighter setting, it makes it even darker. But this is a noble, bright setting, and the goal is to make things positive and lighter. So contrast usually with the darker thing, I think, is a better option. I like the idea of animals. I just don't know how he would implement it, and I'm not sure if it would serve the narrative goal of it.
I think
that would be my take, but I'm 1 out of 4 people here.
Did anyone ever watch Animals of Farthingwood? I think that's a British. I think it might be a British thing.
Well, it has the word farthing in it, so it probably is British.
It's just an English thing. That never existed here.
It's essentially a cartoon that I can remember watching as a very young child.
Holy crap! I saw this at one point.
Like not understanding really what was going on, because I used to really love that show, and then when I went back to watch it again, I realized how dark it was. It's a group of animals trying to move from one place to another, and they get like eaten, hit by cars.
Death scenes in this.
There's death scenes. Like
yeah.
it is brutal.
It's like almost as dark as Shut Down, from what I've seen.
And they also like have to try and like stop themselves from eating each other, because it's like snakes and mice like going along together, and at points like the snake's like, I'm gonna eat you, and the mouse is like, oh, that's scary, and I'm like, kind of scary, yeah.
Like that's legitimately terrifying.
Secret
definitely. Like when you like look it up on YouTube, and it's like Mrs. Pheasant's death, and you're like.
Literally the first thing I saw when I saw Animals of Farthingwood, when I looked it up on Google, and I was like, oh shit, I recognize this.
Scene.
The first one is all the animals hanging out together, and I'm like, okay, I recognize the art style. And then I click down, and it's literally the rabbit being eaten, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. But I don't remember that. Those like I remember sad things happen, but I don't remember it. Like I just like I thought that was a good example of like, oh, cute animals. Oh no. Because it's like them coming together as a community to achieve a goal, but they're like, I mean, the world is against them. But I do agree, I think, with what Omni said. I think like it would be good if we were doing like the last world. It might be interesting to have really cute little bunnies trying to survive with dust. But
dust.
I think like for this we're trying to make it like more of a positive thing. So I don't know, like, but then Wonder Home's like that, and I love Wonder Home, so
it can cut both
in conclusion, I don't know.
But I do know one of the things me and Red talked about was that we are keeping this as a mono-species setting. So that was one of those established things. I think that's one of those few hard no in the setting set up. Unless Red, you choose as the runner of the show to alter that.
You're right. I have all this power. No animals no anthro animals.
Okay.
I don't need my secret of being a furry getting out that much. So
It's already all over Twitter. I posted it.
did you
Damn.
actually?
I reblogged it to
I was gonna
Instagram.
say I couldn't tell if you're being serious or not.
But I will.
Nothing to be ashamed of. It's just you
No,
watched too many Disney movies when you were a kid. Wires got crossed.
Or just enough.
Just enough. I guarantee it was that fucking Robin Hood. I guarantee that was what got most people being furries.
I think Sonic the Hedgehog fans would disagree, but anyhow, you're saying.
Well, that's true. Bold statement. So
Jesus.
good question though, Odysseus. Thank you.
Agreed, yes.
After that question, therapy. That's our
Are you
Smooth
offering?
that's our first prompt. I will add Red in a furry costume for the fanfiction. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I was 13 years old and I really got into Elder Scrolls, I didn't understand. Don't laugh. Are you laughing, Kat? Fuck you.
No, it's just the way it's the way you presented it. It wasn't like what you're saying. It was the way you were like, okay. Here's the
I
thing.
don't want to talk about
When
it.
I was
but-
13, and Elder Scrolls had just come out. Well, no, Elder Scrolls came out in 2011. Like Skyrim came out, yeah. So I was like 10. So I thought the Khajiit were so fucking cool. I didn't know what furries were yet, right? So I was just like, oh, for Halloween, I want to make like a Khajiit costume.
Right.
And I had no idea what a fursuit was. So I was just like, oh, people made these really cool Khajiit costumes. Like, you can open their mouths and stuff like that. And I'm like, and then I started delving deeper. And people were like, Nick, are you a furry? I'm like, what is this? No, I just like Khajiit, man. I don't know. I think they're cool. Like,
Khajiit is innocent of this crime.
I have done nothing to do crime. Khajiit is innocent, I swear. Like, fucking, I was like, oh my god. I had that moment. I had that lapse of certainty. I'm like, am I a furry? But Khajiit costume. All right, thank you for the details. I was born to be a kid, I must say. Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with it.
Red has
whatsoever.
show if you have words for show. So
Red has.
Word for sure, but we keep derailing.
You
he
have
is
way-
derailing by talking about what a fucking furry Red was when he was a child. But anyway, therapy, like I'm gonna need after the show's over.
Same.
Well, therapy, I just like Red heavy breathing. Stop it, JJ, stop it. See, why'd you have to be in for this one? Anyway.
Oh,
Thanks
So-
for coming by, man.
I think that is an important thing to talk about, though, since we are talking about a post-war setting.
When we're talking therapy, the first thing we think of
Yeah.
is like sitting down. It's like it all started when I was born. But like therapy, there would be something like therapeutic, like music. We keep talking. People were in the chat were like non-stop talking about music last night. And I'm like, yeah, music is therapy.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna let you guys
Sure.
run with that.
I mean, I am a musician, so I immediately agree with you.
Wait, you're a musician?
Oh,
What?
only on Tuesdays.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Well,
Shit, it's Thursday.
I just checked my invisible watch. It is I don't know why a watch would tell me the fucking day of the week, but
Because your watch was made after the year 2000, Red, unless your watch is older than I am. So,
Okay. It is Thursday, the 10th of February.
Thanks, Siri.
hey, Siri. Never mind.
Siri, what's the weather?
It's fucking
It's
raining because it's
currently
London.
oh my god. You're so good at
Cloudy with a 30% chance of rain.
Holy
Oh,
shit!
Cheers, Siri.
So,
Okay, my secret is I am Siri's voice. No, I'm not really.
I believe it. Honestly, I would. I would.
can
Actually,
we
I don't know if
talk
you're-
about you voicing something for Legacy, probably computer systems or updates?
I'd
Because,
be.
oh my god.
I would happily have Kat record something, and I will put like robotic filters over it to make it sound even cooler. Like,
100%, I'll do it.
No.
I'll be the
Siri-
next. I'll be the next GLaDOS.
she just said
Oh my
Siri, the lore mistress. Anyway,
Hashtag going.
therapy. Music is therapeutic. Anyway, next prompt.
That's it.
Well, that's it. That's fine. We keep going on tangents. That's fine. That's what the show's about. The guests, and mostly
Yes,
me,
that's fair.
but the guests too. Ami's here. So
I'm the fourth less important person. So,
this is our tricycle. You're just cramping our style with that extra wheel.
Omni, what did you call it? The dung beetle?
The dung beetle, yeah.
God, of all fucking animals. Literally, I love insects, and you chose the single shittiest one.
Well, yeah, it's called a dung beetle
Literally.
for a reason. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. You unleashed it. I unleash a pun. That's how it's gonna be.
The shittiest
I've
animal.
had enough of puns thanks to Sledge, but continue.
Dude, fucking Mark with the puns. When he had Omni and I on, he wouldn't stop. It was like he was holding me hostage. And then I started doing it. It's like an infection.
Then my poor ass couldn't think of one to save my life.
Maybe like okay. Are we still doing
You know what?
therapy?
You're right. You're right,
Yeah, we can
Clunch.
still do
I am
therapy.
the dung beetle because I put up with all this shit.
Yeah, we are still doing
So,
therapy, yes.
I don't know that red is a furry.
I mean, I feel like 'cause I think someone else it got missed. Someone else put like art, culture, music in as a prompt anyway. I feel like that would be a good like form of therapy that maybe especially if we're trying to provoke like a more positive setting. Maybe we don't want to. We might want to explore like more positive forms of therapy like that, like art therapy, music therapy, like people like conveying their experiences with the war and stuff through art so that they can kind of release some of those emotions that they have around it.
Yeah, because that's exactly what humanism is. You know, like during the Renaissance, you had that entire period where a third of Europe was wiped out. So it's just like, well, we need to start reconsidering things because obviously God doesn't exist if he just wiped out a third of us. So we need to sort of like focusing on ourselves, right? We need with that whole turn of thought, which is why this era that we're in now is called the turn. Sort of that same thing. It's just like we just had one of the largest losses of human life, period, over XYZ resources mostly. And now you have this period. It's just like, let's try to understand ourselves. And art is the most human medium to understand ourselves. Science is so cold and cut, but like art is so expressive and open. And they were really good at playing bass. But
Wait a minute.
wait a minute, which art are you talking about?
Like,
But,
there's
Great. That
there-
was great.
thank you.
I think
Okay,
when it
you
comes to
can
art
get
and
that one.
science, there is like we put an artificial line there. Everyone always forgets about everyone always thinks with the Renaissance they think about all the art. They also forget literally it was the birth of modern anatomy, modern biology, modern engineering, modern aeronautics, modern literally fucking every scientific field that we can think of.
Would that be the tail end
in
of
the
the Renaissance?
So and yeah, this is a clear Renaissance. And
Yeah.
art and science go hand in hand. There's nothing saying that they can't be both. And honestly, science is a great way to diffuse violence as well. What did we do during the Cold War that was the single best aspect of it? Probably the space race, because we took all that animosity and directed it into something that was really for some other reason. Now, there's lots of political reasoning behind it, and that's the on the surface reason we did all of that. But honestly, it doesn't much matter what the on the surface reason was if the results are still good. So I think it can cut both ways, though. I think art is definitely a medium we can use to communicate. I think science could be.
Go on.
That's it. That's all. That period there.
Oh. I think it might have cut out like your last word for the mic because it just sounded like you were like science could be and then just cut. I was like,
Oh.
Science could be, period.
Well, because the Renaissance anyway was like all about new ideas in all sorts of different fields,
Yeah.
like new styles of art, new styles of music. It's like kind of almost reinventing like the fashion of everything all at the same time. And I just think like in terms of therapy, it's almost a way to try to promote like the new utopian Elysium that they've kind of found. So like in terms of the way that they would celebrate this would be the time where like new I know that the word traditions never got used, but like new traditions would start to take place. Like there would be new festival days, new things to celebrate, new art styles, new like music that comes from that. And new discoveries if people are no longer investing money into making weapons and funding war, then those investments are going to be going elsewhere. So it would be like new discoveries around farming, new discoveries around like agriculture and scientific studies and stuff. So I just like the idea of like exactly what you wanted from the setting, I guess, was like a renaissance. I think it would be kind of cool to see that come in everything, including the creative aspects of things, new writings, new ideas of like what it is to be human, and what it has been for the last sort of 30 years that they've been warring, and like how we're planning to move forward rather than stay in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, the strange thing about this is a lot of people don't realize we sort of had our own. We had another Renaissance in the. So I'm not saying Renaissance be like my pronunciation's better. It's just the way I know it, and I'm not even gonna attempt the way you just said it.
You know what's funny about that? I had a moment where I was like, should I say Renaissance?
Would you say Renaissance? Is that what you?
Renaissance.
Renaissance. Okay.
Yeah.
I might be saying it.
It's regionalization. You're
it's a
fine. No one's
regional
gonna come
thing,
after
yeah.
you with a stick.
Mine's better,
Yeah,
but it's a regional thing. Yeah. So no, I'm kidding. I love you, Kat. Renaissance.
Renaissance.
So
Renaissance.
we need to have a French guest
Oh,
on
no,
so I
stop.
can really make fun of them.
Oh
No.
God.
If I had a French person on, I'd feel so bad for them. But
Remember, this is the European crowd.
you're so. Do you guys actually like French people over there? Or like,
I've never
So
met
what-
a French person.
you
Do
never
you
met
know
a
what?
British person? Is that what you just
The
said?
French people that
The
I know are
French.
lovely.
Oh,
We are
I bet
getting into
British people-
dangerous, disturbed, distracted territory here.
French people are white
Bring us back
people.
onto
Whatever. Like, but,
Oh
like,
no.
anyway, white people are free.
We're all going to be cancelled after this.
No.
Is that the time?
Speak for yourself, sister. I'm just sitting here.
Would you look at that? It's half past a freckle.
Okay, the time is 8:29 p.m.
Thanks, sorry.
Holy
Oh,
shit! Is it
okay.
really that late? No, it's 2:00. You GMP people. But what was I saying? Renaissance. Yes. So Red is walking that ice this whole evening. No, I'm fine. I'll say something really bigoted and stupid later on.
Oh boy, please don't.
Like Minecraft is overrated. But
I kind of agree on you. Anyway,
thank you. I'd rather play Roblox. Anyway, so Renaissance.
Oh, our
there's this-
15 viewers just went down to 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, just scared the crap out of
There's
me.
no viewers in the chat.
All I gotta do is keep
Everyone's
saying horrible
gone.
crap. And like,
Uh,
Ginger, you're it's only 12:30 for you, so you're West Coast, so you're Californian or like Oregon or Washington or one of those
Ginger.
tons over there.
I love him. He's so cool. That's all I have to say. I love Ginger. He's honestly one of the nicest dudes.
California. Anyway, the Renaissance, yes. So we had like a modern Renaissance with the Industrial Revolution. People think of the Industrial Revolution being like a really bad thing for human society. Kind of is, but it has its upsides, right? So previously we couldn't get our hands as regular people on technology that might have been just for the rich. Cars, period. Cars, literal vehicles that can get us from one place to the next in fractions of the time that we'd have to walk or take a horse. So the Industrial Revolution brought us a lot of stuff, and it was also a renaissance. It was a renaissance not for just like thinking, but in this regard, applying this to the setting, it's a renaissance for technology. It's sort of an opening of like there's more creatives because less of them are tied up on the battlefield. More of them are having time at home. And as Waldman said, after a war, all of a sudden you have all this free time, and what do you do with that? You think. Look at Tolkien. He wrote an entire like this amazing trilogy of books based on his experiences in World War One. And obviously they're a little controversial now because they didn't age incredibly well. But the whole idea is just like these inventors probably got ideas from time that they had more. Just like, man, I really wish I had this when they were in the trench. I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Blah, blah, blah. Why do you think the Americans brought shotguns in World War One?
Did you know that in the trenches the Germans genuinely tried to ban them from using shotguns?
Yeah, but the bastards are the ones that invented gas. So what's your play? Germans are dumb. Germans are like, we're gonna try you for war crimes. I'm like, didn't you invent mustard gas? Like, fucking twats.
I think World War One is long behind us. That conflict is over.
Is it?
I hope
1918?
it
That was
is.
just yesterday, yeah? Okay, shut up.
I hope. Otherwise, Red, you're really older than me, and we need to talk about your healthcare routine that got you this far. But
I brush my teeth with asbestos.
What is your
But
skincare routine?
my
I hear there's
skincare
a-
routine. Am I that
I hear
ugly?
there's a market.
Quart of formaldehyde.
I,
Keeps me
I hear
nice
there's a
and-
market for your hair products.
Dude, what is
Yes,
what is with you people's obsession with my hair? It is. I love my hair too,
Welcome.
but look at that. It's
Welcome,
nice
Chad.
and red, but it's red like my name. But anyway, I think we've had enough talk about therapy. Innocence,
Yeah.
which we have none of.
Innocence. World War II. No.
Signing off.
Okay.
Nah, I've got nothing. I've got nothing at the moment. I will come back to it because I lost my train of thought again.
Do you want me to insult Omni or like?
Please don't.
No, leave Omni alone.
Thank you.
He plays Destiny.
That was really sweet.
Leave Omni alone. No.
What a sweet thought.
We need to brush your
What?
hair. No weird fast.
It's never
motion.
gonna leave me alone.
Leave Omni alone.
It's a nice-
Come on. Don't bully my pal. Right? Here's some innocence for you. I want you to leave Omni alone.
Leave Mr. Frodo alone.
You leave that fuck. No.
Innocence, which we have none of it. Yeah. Thank you for.
I mean,
calling me.
innocence could be something that's rediscovered. So, like,
Yeah.
Well, how do you rediscover innocence?
because you choose it. Like,
Okay,
It's-
liberal, whatever, man. Like,
I mean, like, okay, so this is actually out of stepping out of the memes and the jokes and actually taking a brief moment to like pry open Omni and reveal an actual thing about him. Is that when I went through 2019 through 2021, there was a lot of bad that happened to me. I mean, a lot. And I'm not going to go through the whole list. You guys who were on Twitter, you know how bad it was. It was bad enough where I literally took like what was going to be just a couple of weeks off of Twitter, and it turned into the better part of a year. And I took only a couple months off creation, and it turned into the better part of like a quarter to a half a year. That was just last year. It was a messed up time. And I came to a moment where I was sort of looking down the barrel of two versions of myself that I have to evolve to become, because I wasn't going to be able to survive as who I was. I could either stay as someone who was hurt, jaded, frustrated, angry, viewed the world as something that needed to be fended off, or I could actively decide to see the better in things, take the positive route, knowing the dark things that are there, having encountered them, and full disclosure, knowing for a fact that they oftentimes overpower the good. I had to make a concerted choice to choose positive outlook or negative outlook. And I chose the positive. And I feel that that's the same thing you can do with innocence. You can choose to be jaded, because it is a choice to let the world weigh you down, or you can choose, in spite of your better knowledge, really your experience, to decide it is a more positive existence if you look past those negative traits into a positive one. And this is a setting that's built on a lot of pain. We haven't even talked about the level of pain yet, but it's big, clearly. And these people are moving into a noble bright setting. They've seen the bad thing. They've had that crux moment as a civilization. They've been given a reprieve. They've chosen good. And that, I think, is what you can do with innocence. You can decide to go, okay, cynicism has had its era. Did it do us any good? That's my thought, anyway.
See-
Zip up Omni is a real moment.
see, I was like booling on you. I'm like, oh, you liberal hippie with your emotions and such. But like, that is a really good outlook on life. See, the thing is, I haven't quite gotten to that yet. I'm 20 years
It's a
old.
tough
Oh, you're
road,
young.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
and
young. I'm hateful.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
like you're
destroy
good.
everything, even though I'm.
You're a whippersnapper.
Are we youngin?
Did you hear that in
I'll
a
be-
western? We don't talk like that here.
I'll be right back.
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
Family. I'll be right back.
There goes
Okay.
Omni.
Keep going.
Yeah.
We need to get like a thing. You ever see that clip of Germa with like the really big butt? Like they blow up his butt and as he's walking away. I need to do that with Omni. But yeah, Omni left us. You're still in that angsty teenager role. I'm 20. I'm not an angsty teenager. I'm
You're
literally
still
running.
in the angsty teen role.
What the fuck? I'm wearing an Eagles
I-
t-shirt. Call me an angsty teen. Yeah.
I
but-
remember when I found out you were 20, I hit the fucking roof.
people are like,
What
people.
the fuck?
I've had so many people be like, I'm ancient. I'm like, wow.
I'm
you're-
ancient.
Everybody in this community is like mid 20s, late 20s, or 30s. Like, hands down. I'm probably the youngest person here. That's okay. It makes me feel like a baby, but
Aww.
I don't sound or look like a
Aw.
baby.
We're acting like a baby.
What the
Anyway.
fuck? Quit acting like a little. Don't be a little bitch, Red.
We're acting like a baby.
But
Aw.
no, it's never bothered me. You know, it used to bother me when I was a kid because I used to hang out with people that were always older than me, and they always gave me shit for it. But nobody gives me shit for it here. I give people shit for being old though, so that's funny. But I don't know. Omni never gives me shit about being young. He did it once, and it got clipped, so he'll never do it again. But oh, here he comes. Let's talk shit about him.
Listen, you.
Omni's such a
Omni's-
nice and cool person, and I really love him
I-
being my co-host. Hey, welcome
Hey.
back, you son of a bitch.
Oh, hi.
Hey, how you
See
doing?
you come back there.
Omni, will it surprise you to know that we've made no progress while you've been away?
None. Will
We
it
don't
surprise?
progress.
Will it surprise you that I'm still probably gonna have to get up in a minute because that person, the family who's arrived, is still downstairs sitting in the car talking on the phone.
Oh.
So I have to wait, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna make progress here with you
Okay.
all.
Well, you
Okay.
left us on that great note on innocence. We did nothing with it. So
Yeah, I really liked what you said about innocence. I think like it goes with the whole like Renaissance feel of it as well, of just like choosing to look at things in even just to have a different outlook on life generally, and not to harbor grudges and not to essentially choose to let go of that resentment that has been built up over 30 years is a really powerful thing. So I like collective resentment as well. Like each person in that community will have their own individual resentment that is fueled by everyone else feeling that as well. And then for everyone to just go, but we could change, so let's try it. And to
Right.
just drop that's really hard. So I think like to choose innocence is like the age of innocence is like a really powerful like idea after such a difficult long war.
I think that's fair. I think that is I think that really is like that is the crux of the true that's the true conflict in this setting is we're facing the cynicism of old with a new genuine potential of hope. And hope is an innocent thing. It is literally in spite of everything this thing might happen and like okay well there's no historical precedent for it but it's worth taking a shot at and that's the argument. You have the old cynics who have centuries of evidence on their side that war will never end, it's going to keep going, and the other folks who say but what if it doesn't and why don't we take that shot?
And then you have me that
And,
says,
like-
"Look at Ukraine right now." Anyway.
On
I mean
And,
no but that's
on the surface though,
yeah.
it was done like that. On the surface, they all, I don't know, signed a treaty, said, okay, we'll stop warring, everything's fine, we're all friends. But realistically, that's a very difficult thing to just eradicate.
oh yeah
And that feeling, all the resentment, the hatred, the violence, it gets to a point where people will have to do exactly as you said and realize everyone else is trying to let this go. Why can I not let it go? And what kind of person does that make me if I can't let go of what is essentially negative, horrible feelings that are destroying me and eating up the lives of the people around me? Why do I as a person have so much anger that I want to continue that even though it's a destructive thing?
At its core,
Like
that's
that
one of the
would
most.
be a really difficult thing for some people to face.
Yeah, at its core, that's one of the most human things. It's just like, why do I continue to do this? Even it just becomes hatred is not just a thing that we choose to be or have, right? It's something that we just do. It's almost muscle memory. It's like emotional muscle memory. So when you see an older person snap at somebody all the time or just get angry, and I don't even have to be an older person. It could be somebody that went through a lot of strife and trouble in their time. It's a choice to an extent to be cynical and to be mean and bitter and just sort of let things eat you up. Or as Omni put it, you can choose to not let things eat you up. You can choose to not let things sort of beat you down. You can choose to treat them as lessons, and the lessons that you pass down to the next generation, so they don't have to struggle through the same things that you struggled through. It's a learning moment.
Yeah.
And I
I'll be
think
right back.
I think it.
The sentiment, and I'm glad we got to it because that was what I was aiming for. Keep going, guys. I think I actually do need.
It would be about, essentially, you would want to aim for these two groups of people. One being these people that are like, no, this piece is good, it's going to do us better in the long run. We want new ideas, we're younger, this, and these old cynics, as it were, who kind of, in a really weird way, missed the war, missed the values that they held during the war. They would have, I think, in order to get back into alignment, they would have to accept that they have to learn from each other. I think that, like, the older generation would have to accept that change is fine and can be a good thing and a positive thing and can benefit. And, it's not good to hold on to the fact that you had it tough and so everyone should have it tough. It's, you had it tough because you wanted the future to be better.
Yeah.
And now it is. So you need to embrace that. Equally, the younger generation would have to learn that it's not an easy task to just let go of 30 years of conditioning, essentially, of the world being a certain way, and to just be a person that comes in and goes, no, everything's great, everything's fine, I don't know what you're complaining about. They would have a lot to learn, and they would learn a lot through the process of rebuilding.
That's a really nice, sweet, wholesome story in its own. That is like a Ghibli-esque story, right? It's just older people teaching younger people a lesson, while the younger people teach the older people a lesson, and everybody gets along.
And then all together in the end, they all learn
it's like
something.
in Kanto. It's just really sweet. It's just like coming to understand one another. Like we both made mistakes, we both had problems, but it's the understanding of it is just sort of like coming back together after all of that and reminding that, this you were talking about this older generation sort of, they were fighting for a better time, but somewhere along the way they forgot about that. They lost that because they were so interested in the idea of self-preservation rather than like worrying about the future. Because like war is a horrible thing and it drives out the worst in people. And by drives out, I mean drives out and keeps out. It's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and that sort of thing. You just can't get rid of that. You need to learn to live with it, and that's a really difficult thing to get past, because any sort of PTSD, war, or from strife, it's not something you can just get over,
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been really philosophical. I feel like I need to crack a joke, but honestly, I don't want to.
I feel like this session has just been absolute unhinged chaos. With these just like punctuated with these really like deep, sincere, wholesome moments where we've come up with some amazing ideas, and then like back to some unhinged chaos. And
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
which I think that's like my favorite kind of thought processing. Like when I try to like think of things, when I get like blocks, when I get like writer's blocks, I just
That's the name of the show. Can I get a writer's block in chat? Let's go.
Nice.
Play us out, Artie. When I get those moments where I'm like, I can't I need to stop thinking like, oh, maybe we'll do this, maybe this, because I can't like follow that through. I just start to try and think of stupid things for a little while, like
cracking jokes helps you come up for air.
Yeah. I think like even for myself, like I'll just picture something. I'll fixate on something funny about a character, or like if I'm like researching for a blog post and I'm feeling myself getting like really drained, I'll just like look up, like it's for Greek mythology blog post, so I'll just look up like 10 hilarious Greek myth facts, and I'll just like be like, how can I include this in a future blog post, and just kind of, I don't know, it's just to try and like break the ice and break pressure on yourself as well. So I think like streams like this make me smile, because it just makes me think of that like process.
Yeah, and I love that this show is what you just said. I love that this show is that for you, because like that's exactly what I love about this. And I'm getting a more if you've watched the VODs, I'm getting more and more comfortable, obviously, because I am literally picking on my guests now.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Picking on me, but yeah, no, I feel you.
I need to do more UK shows. Like, damn it, the UK audience is so great. Hey guys, do you how's your rent looking over there? But the chaos levels are increasing. They are. That's not reassuring. But yeah, no, this show is that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be a comfortable environment where people have like a place to think, place to sort of like relax. That's why I kept telling. I was like, no pressure, because this show is no pressure. Because I don't want you to go into thinking like I have to have all this stuff prepped. Oh, it's just like, no, 3 words. That's all I ask. Literally, just 3 words. Even if you just sit down like 5 minutes before the show, come up with 3 words. That's all the show is. All the show is just.
How I view life, Red. That's how I view life.
You live by the seat of your pants. Just. Seatbelt off, hands on the wheel.
Anything by the seat of my pants, well.
Yeah, no.
But that's why I was drawn to a show like this, because I like to. I've been really trying to push myself outside my comfort zone, and I know I'm an over preparer and I know I'm an over planner. So when I was this, I was like, okay, improvisation, definitely one of my weakest. One of my weakest things. So let's just see if I can actually do it if I just try it, rather than deciding that I'm bad at it without having really tried it. Because I know I get very like caught in the like, I haven't planned anything or prepared anything, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's the anxiousness.
But once I get past it, I've actually found all right. Sorry, British people are not good at complimenting themselves. So
are you sure about that?
I mean, I'm getting better at it. Like I said, I'm working on it. I'm working on myself.
Well, speaking of British not complimenting themselves, how about leadership?
Oof. Going straight for the heart.
Margaret Thatcher. But anyway.
I'm never going to compliment leadership right now.
I mean, I'm just going to say it. We live in the U.S., Red. We really don't have much. We don't have a leg to really stand on for the past couple of years.
Yeah, but Ronald Reagan sounds funny, so that's my defense.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Well, yeah. I like neoliberalism, and we should put church before state, and
I'm glad your memory went that far back. I'm still stuck a couple years ago. So.
Well, I want to hear what Art has to say. Art's been very quiet, and I'm going to make them speak.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot I was in the Twitch. I'm genuinely. I was sitting there watching the 3 cameras, like, hang on, I'm in part of this.
Winston Churchill. I know that's
such a big move.
Winston's a good name.
That is such a big move, though. Like straight up, I get that.
What do you think of leadership? Yes.
See, I'm gonna say this now as well. I am awful at world building, but I'm amazing at characters. So for the last 15 minutes or so, I've been trying to build a character in my head that I can see.
Well, then make a character. This show is improv. Do whatever the hell you want.
In absolute blind panic, I have created a character in my head that I saw that sort of embodies that idea of leadership and has taken it upon themselves to sort of. See, I'm on the traveler thing again. I need to stop that. Has dug in with a specific community and has brought them from being like sort of a rundown place where nobody ever it's chaos, and they've brought it up to be one of the most impressive places to live in the entire world.
Okay.
So
But
you're
they did it through very different means.
different as in good or bad? Are we talking
very shady?
oh, so we're talking to like Tsar Alexander the Second.
Yeah,
So
that's where I
like
was going.
running around cutting off people's beards, kind of like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of being just shady dealings with other places, but like having this sort of like forefront be this wholesome, happy community where everyone can come and live and make their money and live in a peaceful life.
This
But
is
underneath it's like the shadiest shit.
this is political. I was gonna say
Of course it is.
that kind of sounds like the versions of communism we've seen employed in the world.
Getting a little real. It's getting a little real, everyone.
Well, this reminds me of
sorry.
well, I know I brought up Tsar Alexander, but I was already thinking it. Russia, you know, Russia was sort of like this place. It's just like the workers felt downtrodden and beaten down by the bourgeoisie and stuff like that, and the elite, right? They didn't feel like they had value, and they're getting more and more taken away from them, like pre-revolution France. So yeah, of course there's going to be a revolution, and they're not going to do something that's like simple, just like we just want representation. It's like, no, we want to fucking control everything, right? So you probably have commissars and stuff like that. That's sort of like it's probably more of a
When you were gonna bring that in, I was wondering one.
well, because I was talking about because Omni and I are going to be making characters for this setting. Omni has like
Oh, cool.
an Italian-inspired character that is going to be like an Da Vinci sort of character. Mine's going to be a Russian inventor, and he's going to be named Commissar or something.
Nice.
He likes making war machines.
No, it's nice.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a really nice guy. I cannot wait to do my Russian accent, comrade.
Oh,
Hello, I'm Commissar. Hello, I've come to bring you death. But no, I like what you're thinking. So like you're saying that there's this entire society that sort of like started as nothing, but they're just like, let's come together and do our own thing. And then somewhere along the line, they got those little parasites in there, and then they're just like, let's do this thing. And then they came up, and it's like a really corrupt sort of oligarchical, aristocratic style thing that just like basically replicated their neighbors.
Yeah, but underneath that's what's happening. But on the surface level, it looks like a great place to live. Or like,
Yeah, this does sound like Russia.
it's very happy.
East
For those of
Germany.
you folks who are Floridians or Central Floridians, it sounds like Baldwin Park, which is so there's actually a community nearby, which is not to slander anyone in Baldwin Park, it's not their fault, but it was basically built to be a rich sub-community within the area. So Winter Park is already one of the most expensive regions to live in. I only live here because of the fact that my family was super adamant about me going to these really good schools, and I'm really glad they tried. They're really glad they put me here. It gave me a lot of advantages, but it cost a lot. And we live in like the poor, or not the poor, but like the lower income side, as opposed to like literal mansions. Baldwin Park is the rich people's sub-community, people who thought that Winter Park wasn't rich enough. And so they made an entire sub-development out of what used to be a Navy base here, and like an old VA Navy base, and built it up until it is basically like that movie Elysium, where they built a space station for people to escape from everyone else. And so they have their own little market, they have their own little transit area, they have everything except for well-designed housing, well-thought-out community planning, and any identity of anything whatsoever except money. And so it's it is like, it looks like a nice place to live on the surface until you scratch it and you realize it's hollow. It's designed to be appealing, but it's kind of like a lure. There's nothing on the other end of it. Ooh, it's like fly fishing. It's such a pretty lure. Let me bite onto it. All I have is a hook. There's no juicy bug at the end of this. It's just sharp steel.
Juicy bug.
Yeah. I have to assume that's what bugs. That's what.
Great contribution, Red. Thanks.
Eat
yes.
bug.
But yeah,
Sorry,
like I
secretly
mean,
a frog.
but it's the same sort of thing, right? Like you don't necessarily need a place that looks good to live. Doesn't necessarily have to even be super dystopian on the underside. It just needs to be hollow or unpleasant or just not deliver to be disappointing.
The undercity style thing.
This is my frog. He eat
You have
bug.
a frog?
Juicy bug. I do have a frog.
He does have a frog. It's adorable.
I'm sitting it on my desk now.
That's Mr. Frog. This is a show.
Stop! No! I didn't think anybody watched it.
I did, unfortunately.
I'm working with those. Hello.
Oh my god. The Mr. Frog show, Smiling Friends is nightmarish.
Smiling
But
Friends is one of the best.
Smiling
I've
Friends
ever
is
seen.
nightmarish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. But back to this idea of this authoritarian society under the hood of this nice candy red car.
Candyland.
Candyland. It's Candyland on top, but it's decadent on the bottom, if you know what I mean.
It's like a chocolate cake, all empty calories.
See, this is exactly the country I wanted to build. Like, utterly corrupt, but it's just like, hello, we are very good on the surface, yeah? Like, oh, everything is fine here. Unless you are this kind of person, in which case, get the fuck out.
Right.
Like, we don't like your kind here.
Oh my god, that line is such that line is such a weirdly iconic line in world building. Like,
Well,
that's
we don't
literally
like your kind here.
I mean, yeah, like seriously, how many times have you played in a campaign and everything has been fine until you arrive at the place to a new place, new location, all your old stuff is left behind. And you arrive at this new place, and you talk with someone and they drop some version of this line. Like, what are you doing here, outsider? You're not welcome here. Like, keep on moving, that kind of thing.
Well,
Like,
it's
literally,
one of the
Family
most
Guy.
human things, you know? It's
Yeah.
just like, you don't sound like me, so I don't like you.
Right.
It's just like,
I mean, yeah, no, that is straight up like
that's like one of the most like primitive human things I can think of. Just like, that guy's from across the lake. I don't like that guy because he lives across the water from me. It's just like, that's like the most primal form of hatred. I think it's just like that person lives in
territorial
a different place.
discrimination is totally like that's a historic thing because to a degree it serves, at least historically, it served a mote of biological use, which was you don't necessarily want your primitive cave folks trusting everything that comes new into their territory.
Well,
You
yeah.
want a degree of healthy skepticism. It's when it's taken in the modern age out of its evolutionary context that it swiftly becomes messed up.
Skepticism
I feel
becomes
like that.
paranoia, and paranoia
racism.
becomes mass hysteria, and it gets worse
Yeah.
and worse and worse. But the people that this group wouldn't like are probably the Trailblazers, because I think this
100%.
group is still stuck in the past, and they are still running everything off of diesel and gasoline. They're not wanting to transfer over. They're wanting to keep their money that they have off of making gasoline and diesel-powered machines. So they're just like, fuck your geodes, comrade. We have gasoline. We have invented fracking, like the fantastical Texans. You understand?
Oh no.
Oh my God.
no.
Fracking culture.
Oh no.
Run. Everyone.
Not fracking. Not
Noble
not in
Brightism.
my
Not
wholesome
fracking,
house
not
in
here.
Castle
Anything but
World.
fracking.
Not the fracking.
There's a misinput. Calm the fuck down. Well, not,
Chaos.
but you know what I mean. They probably are like, we are making new and improved ways to harvest oil from the ground. Where, well, they have stupid little gem thing that they burn light through. Those things will burn out in years. They are like bulbs of light. See, we have gasoline. Burn it, and it will run for hour. Understand? We have to do MPG, mile per gallon. If you didn't know that one, but fuel efficiency in this economy. Who would have thought?
I love that idea. Like the
no,
car
no.
salesman trying to sell you a car that's 30 years out of date off the lot. But like,
Yes.
but I mean, it's good. It's reliable. Like, we know it's reliable. It's from 2003. Cool. It's 2022. Is it still reliable?
Yes.
They're reliable enough.
Bye, JJ. Thanks for stopping by, hon. I appreciate
care,
it. Thank
JJ.
you for all the
All
gift
love.
subs. Much love to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Seriously.
Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, friend. Have a good day.
Goodbye, my friend.
I love Red's accent. Yeah, that's my hyper exaggerated Russian accent. Do you like it?
That's the reason we'll never have Russian guests, but it's a good one.
Well, I don't think we really have anybody Russian in the TTRPG.
I don't think we can physically unless they literally don't sleep. So,
Fair.
you know.
Huh.
No, please disappoint me with that assumption. With like Twitter/Twitch. If one of you folks out there is in fact Russian and are totally up to being on the show, that'd be cool.
I don't know how many Russians actually speak English though.
There's a couple.
I'm not saying that as an insult, because I'm going to be completely honest. I'm American and I'm monolingual, so.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
And most Americans are monolingual, let's be quite honest. But
I mean, you heard my Spanish, air quote Spanish. So like,
what is my usual streaming time? 8 p.m. CST, which would be 4 in the morning for you. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna
yeah,
start
it's a little
doing.
brutal.
I'll probably start doing earlier
Hey.
streams because.
Listen,
What?
I was up at 4 a.m. today.
Oh,
That's
I was
4 a.m.
awake until 4 a.m.
Because you're a madman, Red, and I'll never get it. I'll never get how you do it.
Well, because I'm
Do you want me
nocturnal.
to shout at you again?
You're right, and
You
you're not
shout
old.
at me, just shout me down like Jarl Ulfric. Just be like, "Ah, go to fucking sleep, you fucking
Red!
nuts."
I mean, like, you know,
Red
like,
bed.
Listen, I can shout.
for what it's
I
worth,
don't-
folks, I also have a morning stream. I tend to do morning streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Okay,
so-
buddy. Okay, I didn't say you could promo, but I guess that's fine.
No, I'm sorry about
Speaking
that.
of
No.
shows,
But there are folks out there who do. So
No, but seriously, check
I
out
also
OmniStream.
have a website. No, just
Oh, do you? I'm gonna post that in the chat right now. I don't know why I'm passive aggressive about it. I will definitely just do that.
no, actually,
Please, everyone, check out.
Look at my shit. If you think Red is stupid, look at this.
I
Uh,
never. Whoa.
You
You're
never
putting
said
words in
that,
my
but you
mouth,
implied it.
if you want to see real
Why?
stupid tune in tomorrow night,
Tune in tomorrow night.
where I play Resident Evil 6.
Let me get the link to your Twitch channel.
Free
Right.
Nice.
promo.
Twitch.
I'm good at segues on occasion.
Speaking of segues, how do we do disestablishment?
disestablishmentarianism, and I looked up the
Can you
meaning of it
define that
because it's
word,
been a long
please?
time.
Can you use a word in a
Entertainment.
sentence?
Entertainingly,
Yeah.
the word is actually just a really, really long. It's a really long form way of saying believing in separation of church and state. So disestablishmentarianisms believe in breaking apart the establishment of a nationalized religion. So that is the formal way of putting it. But to break it into a broader stroke, it becomes people who are opposed to the idea of monolithic edifice of a government, specifically around social matters that should be left alone. That's the modern interpretation.
Okay,
of it.
Poindexter, can you simplify that for us?
Pretend
Okay.
you're talking to me, who is
Separation of church and state. I don't know how much simpler to make that. Literally, I don't want someone.
Well, separation
don't
of church
want-
and state is secularism. Secularism.
Exactly. I said it's a more convoluted way of saying something you have other words for.
Just like in Mexico. Odysseus, calm down.
I mean,
My brain.
okay. So maybe we're not going for religion, but maybe the war, because it was such a big deal, almost became a religion. It was such a way of thinking.
Okay.
And there were people that I'm not talking in a literal sense necessarily worshipped war, but I'm talking more in a they glorified it.
Well, yeah, rose tinted glasses is the easiest way to look at
Yeah.
something, especially that tragic.
And so I think I think that this whole world, from what we've kind of built, is just about trying to separate. It seems to be trying to separate that passion and that feeling and that emotion from what's good for the world.
Right.
I don't know. It's taking the word and just being well, let's just do that, but with two different concepts. That's not church and state. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've even thought really about religion this world.
Oh, Odysseus, you're actually from Mexico. Okay, I was like, oh, I got confused there for a second. Religion, we haven't talked anything about religion, actually. I think, see, Kat, now you got me thinking, in the same way that people are they wish they pray to Jesus or Christ rather, or God for help, and that happened a lot. People literally wore crucifixes and stuff people still do, obviously. But in World War I particularly, they kept those things as mementos. They carved crucifixes and stuff like that. It's just yeah, what sort of symbolism was gained, or what sort of symbolism was created or lost during the war? As I think that's what you're trying to say or ask rather.
Yeah, I guess I guess even those that have become very jaded and very skeptical, had not got to the point where they'd completely given up. So there must have been something that drove them to continue. And I like to continue in the war. And like I think of like British like World War One, World War Two like propaganda was very like for king and country and like for like, and it was very like driven around like this whole idea of like these symbols. You're trying to impress these symbols. Like if you go and fight in the war, like the king will be impressed with you, and
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what
and the
medals
same
were
with
for.
and the same with God. God will like so it I think it's like very similar to that. Like I don't necessarily like know that this is a world necessarily where like religions have sprung up necessarily dedicated to the war, but this kind of like I think a little bit of like Bioshock, like this
Oh,
very
yeah.
like with all the posters. I can just picture like very propaganda, like your king needs you, or like your like maybe like would have been like a symbol that would have almost been like worshipped. It would have been considered like this. Yeah, exactly. As is written in the Dolce. I can't say it. Decorum est is very like it is an honourable thing to die for your, well, in this case it would be community. Like
Yeah, it's
the
like
belief, it's the idea rather than like a literal god figure maybe, but
Oh, that's very relatable. Like any American who knows anything about our country for longer than like
Being
the span
alive.
of my life, 30 years old. That's the Cold War. Like Cold War was literally the same thing where we didn't have. It isn't a national religion, but to this day, like all the trappings we had of nationalism became effectively enshrined. Like you literally could not talk about the ideas of what was deemed as anti-American, anything anti-American. If you were thinking about communism, even like abstractly, it was considered anti-American. There was literally thought crimes in the U.S. for a while. Like that is a thing.
yeah, we
And-
became very controlling of thought policing and stuff like that was very common. And during the Cold War, that's when the Pledge of Allegiance was invented.
Yeah, it's why we all still stand up and put our hearts over our hands on football games.
I'm
like
getting to the point where I refuse to do that because all that is indoctrination.
I mean, yeah, I stopped
that is
doing
a form of indoctrination. You know who else did that? Nazi
Literally every
Germany.
literally every authoritarian empire ever.
Nazi,
basically.
Nazi Germany is the first one that comes to mind because it's just like those people like literally worshipped Adolf Hitler. Like, so
What?
so in that regard, Kat,
Yeah.
do they worship their leadership?
wow, like so do you know what I really think of and Artie might kind of relate to this. I don't know how if it's a big thing in Scotland, but in England the symbol of the poppy is a really big thing when thinking about the war, because like, and every September everyone wears poppies and it's supposed to be this symbol of like remembering all the lives that were lost. And I remember very recently there was conflict around the poppy because people began to believe that yes, we must remember the sacrifices that people made and how sad it was that so many people lost their lives, but to continue to do so in this way and to try and push these it became like a month of pushing like some very traditional values that kind of don't necessarily have a place in society nowadays. And a lot of people felt like it was glorifying the war rather than the symbol of remembrance that it was supposed to be. It had become like this symbol of how great it was back in the days when people would go and die for their country, and nowadays people just sit on Xbox all day, and like it became like that was the mentality that a lot like or seems to like, and it still is like the mentality that some of the older generation have. And so it became this conflict of younger people like maybe not realizing the symbolism or how much it meant to the older generation, not wearing it, and then those people getting upset and angry and feeling like their values and their principles and everything that had been fought for had been forgotten. And so, like, for me, like, just that it doesn't have to be like they're worshipping a person or worshipping like a literal god, but just some kind of symbol that might represent that you could kind of see as years went by, might change its meaning, and cause conflicts like that in the future, where people would go, okay, you know, it's been 200 years. Like, how long are we gonna hold on to this and be like, oh, remember back in the war when like people lost their lives and stuff, and it was all for you, and so you should be appreciative. Like, when are we gonna start moving forward? Especially if we're looking at this like turning point where everyone is pushing to move forward, to move on, to explore new ideas, to explore themes of peace and prosperity and harmony, and then we are looking at the people that feel resentful towards that and how they're like, but what about all the people that just died and like that only happened a few years ago, and why are we not thinking about them still? Like, there could be a symbol that is causing that conflict where the older generation might be like, we need to remember these things that happened, and the younger generation be like, we need to move on from these things that happened, and trying to find that balance.
That's a common thing. That's a common thing we're seeing all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like in the UK, yeah, it's or Britain, we'll say, poppies are, yeah, they're like, they go, what, World War One, because of they said that a poppy field grew where there was a great battle.
Yeah.
And here in the United States, they hand over the heart thing and like pledging allegiance to a flag. It's just like, why would we pledge allegiance to something that we don't believe in anymore? Like that's it's not
Or
just,
something that was designed for us to not have to do that.
well,
like,
yeah, we're literally a country
With
about
Britain over the entire idea that we don't need to pledge ourselves to a sovereign.
we're about a
living
freedom
is
of
good enough.
belief, but apparently we're supposed to pledge ourselves to a flag. You know, it seems a little hypocrisy, blah. But yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I want
So much conflict in this. I like this. But it's not like conflict in the war sense, like it has been 5 years before, where
It's a
everyone's like
social
shooting each
conflict.
other, and it's like emotional conflict. I think it's really interesting exploring like kind of these themes rather than like bigger, like proper violent.
Yeah, it's more.
conflict as well. Like, it's a very good juxtaposition in worlds.
It's a good narrow sort of like philosophical thing. Art, did you have something to say?
You pretty much cover every single time this happens. I do have things to say.
Shut up,
but
Cat.
No. But here's the thing. I do have things to say, but Kat, you take the words straight out of my mouth, so I go, okay.
Well, no, we'll
Too nice.
reiterate it. You know,
I'm too nice to interrupt as well. I'm very.
You
I'm
can
not.
interrupt me.
I'm American.
Welcome to our stream. Have you met me in red?
I am American.
Yes.
Have you seen
You
Fox
can put the
News? That's
bumpers
how we
on.
normally talk.
You can knock each other around a little bit. The go-karts are made for this. You're good.
I'll knock you up. Anyway, Art, did you have something to say?
Ah!
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't expect it to go there.
What the hell you think I'm saying, huh? Dirty-minded people.
Literally everything I wanted to say is gone. I'm just kind of enjoying watching like everyone else kind of world build. This is why I'm fucking awful at being on a stream like this.
Well, no, you
not.
you
What are
gave
we
us
talking
words.
about? It's because you had a cool idea for a character and it's expanded from that. Like, just saying.
Nara
You're
says,
good at it.
no, I don't like interrupting people. You haven't met me. I have ADHD. That's my excuse.
My
Also-
every word cuts into the back of Reds. So,
I
like,
will just put forward as well, like, when I'm nervous, I have a tick where I take the same thing and I just reiterate it multiple times in different
That's a
ways. It's like a
very
thing.
normal
So you can interrupt me and be like, "Okay, Kat, we got it. Thanks." Like,
But
Well,
I
no,
was
it's-
enjoying listening.
it's
I was
something that
really
I'm very
enjoying
aware that I do. Like, and in my mind, while I'm saying, I'm like, "You've already said this, Kat. You said it twice." now.
Well, I
You
like hearing the
this is
evolution of
third
your
time."
thinking, though. Because, like,
like my brain is trying to go, oh yeah, that's a great sentence that you just said, but we could restructure it. So now say it out loud again, but like in a different way. And
That's
like
the
I
writer in you.
say it out,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It is
So
the writer. It's like,
you
how can
feel
you make it
free
sound the
to
best?
be like, oh, can I jump in or whatever? Especially if I'm doing that, because I'm probably going down a big spiral in my head where I'm like,
Cat?
oh my god, stop talking.
Pat, shut up! No, but
I'm just too nice to interrupt people. I enjoy.
but you're
listening to people.
Scottish.
I am Scottish. Yes.
Right.
Yell, scream, like pick up a sword, go fight on a hill, like.
Alright, I'll be back in a minute then.
Get your kilt, get your shit
is that
together,
the hell?
get your fucking claymore, and I want you to go fight atop the fucking biggest hell you can find.
All right, I'll be right back. I got
Pulls out a dagger.
it. Nah,
Hold on,
I'm
I
coming
have
for
it.
you, Omni.
the battle royale has begun.
But,
Why do you two have knives?
it's an American
So-
thing. We have guns too. Bet
American.
you don't have guns.
This was actually a gift from my
You don't have
girlfriend
you
when I
don't have a
started
weapon
playing
in your hand?
Got a
Ashwell,
ruler.
the
Oh,
rogue
that's
on another
scary.
D&D game. So I use this as kind of like an emotional focus when I'm streaming my rogue. Be like, okay, think. I don't need to be diplomatic. Right, this is my tool. Like, it's a way to remind myself. Right, even though I'm party dad, I can still kill people. I have a license to kill in
This is
D&D.
a pocket knife. It's actually a utility knife, so it has a lot. It's like a corkscrew and a toothpick. I probably should throw
Yeah.
away the toothpick. It's probably nasty as shit. There's a
Same.
nail
I feel
file.
you.
Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of everything on it. But Swiss people. But
I'll stick with my ruler, thanks.
Fair.
Hammer. I'm hammer.
the sound.
Americans and their weird weapons. I mean, Clunch, I can't argue.
Odysseus, do not clip that. You just said you're Scottish. Pick up a sword and go fight on a hill.
Weird weapons, you say?
That is a weapon. You're a weapon. And a
You're
good
a
You're a
weapon.
fucking weapon.
bard. You're such a
Look how
bard.
mad. You're a fucking weapon, you bastard.
God.
Okay.
Who doesn't have a knife? Yeah, that's fair.
I don't have one nearby.
I don't need one. I have sharp wit.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Defeat the instant defeat.
Wow.
I save all
So,
my
yeah,
intelligence for. I
I'm
don't have
sorry, I
any.
didn't
So
mean
nourishment. Next word.
Okay,
The
yeah. 'cause
final
I-
word. I want
I
to do
think
more
we've got-
longer streams like this because I have energy for it. I need to start doing these earlier. Because I don't
I'm
even know
just
what to
enjoying
clip. Or
it.
how
So
to clip
do
it.
I, but I'm gonna regret this because I'm up at 4 a.m. again tomorrow.
Oh well.
Oh
So,
my
what is it for you right now? It's 9.
It's 20 past 9. Yeah,
Mm,
it's not
okay.
that bad. It's not that bad, but I just suddenly remember. You know when you're just like, oh, what time have I got work? Oh.
I know the feeling. I used to have to wake up at like 5 for a grocery job. Horrible. I'd be go being nice warm bed, having to go into a fucking freezing cold cooler area.
Yeah,
Miserable.
Put things in your freezer.
Yeah, just like I go from like laying in a nice like 70, 80 Fahrenheit in bed, and then I go in, it's like 30, 40.
It's pretty bitterly cold here as well right now.
Yeah,
Every time I like go outside at like 6 a.m., I'm like,
it's 20 past 10. I really need to go to bed soon. Okay, well, we'll do this last word, and then we'll do sign-offs, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, we can always cover the rest in writers and chip off the block this week.
Yeah, absolutely. But we won't. We never do. Because
We have become more chaotic on that show as of late as well.
we
let's
are
be real.
so unbelievably tangential on that show. I've been making maps and shit on it, right? Like, it's just whatever.
Yeah, I've literally turned it on mine into an art stream, like that.
Yeah.
Literally, you don't see until the very end.
Your
But,
mountains are lovely.
I don't take compliments well, so shut up.
Neither do I. Don't test me.
But you're a good bassist.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, nourishment.
Jesus.
Food for
I
thought.
didn't mean for that to sound so aggressive. I'm really sorry.
this is the most aggressive.
I want art. I'm literally provoking art right now. I'm trying to get them angry at me. That's,
No. You want to wait? You're trying to get me to be mad.
yeah, it's not really hard.
Archie's gonna go full Hulk at some point.
I need to figure out a topic that makes me really angry.
I'm always angry.
That's my secret cat. I'm always angry.
Fucking furious.
Fucking furious.
Nourishment.
I get nourishment from being angry.
Very good. See, this is how
No one else
Americans
is
talk. We talk like
different.
this, and we go like this when we're proposing something.
You're proposing?
Trade deal. You tell me something
When are
about
you getting
nourishment, I
married?
get viewers. Or am I getting married? I'm not fucking getting married. I don't need a cool piece of
He
paper
says
to tell me I love
proposing.
something.
I'm trying to be funny.
Will you be
honestly.
my bassist for my show?
All right. So nourishment.
Yes.
You know what? We can connect this to something and
I'm
get
hungry.
2 words.
I'll be right back. Get it, nourishment.
Oh,
There we
fuck.
I'm always.
We
hungry.
had gardens. We haven't done anything with gardens.
Oh yeah.
What
we
if
can throw
that's the
gardens
solution?
into it? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Garden of
food
nourishment.
gardens.
I
Then I
love
got
Like-
an idea.
Well. See, my immediate first thought for that entire, like, the whole nourishment thing was, like, nourishment of the soul. So that kind of connects very well into gardens, because in my head, that was the kind of druidic circle that I came up with.
Oh,
Ah!
wait. What if this? And I know that we've kind of already covered it, but what if this goes into therapy as well? Like the gardens
Therapeutic
are
gardening.
grown, and they're growing something new and beautiful, and it's like, but then it's also food, and it's also the druid. Ah!
You just had like a
Just gonna,
Jimmy
like-
Neutron brain blast there. Like that was something.
I'm so glad someone else mentioned it. I'm more and more lately. I feel like Jimmy Neutron was just an
Think,
invention.
think.
I almost completely forgot that thing had a legitimate movie that got released at one point. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Also, gardens create a sense of community.
Yeah.
Like a
Good.
community garden.
I mean,
Oh,
right.
oh.
This is the challenge. We need to like every single chord together.
Like disagreement and weapon. Weaponized cabbage.
With a nice cabbage.
Yeah.
Like cabbages.
Fill them with gasoline and throwing them at somebody.
That's the new use for diesel. It's plant food.
Like these. Never mind.
I'm not
Oh,
trying to learn the Jimmy
What
Neutron
kind of
theme, by the
gardens
way.
are we growing here?
The lethal kind.
The garden you eat
No. That actually is a great idea though, and so like we have communities that are coming together and using botany and feeding themselves. That could be one of the things that now that they have an energy crisis that's been resolved, they're now looking to resolve all their other crises of scarcity. So like now they're dealing with food, and the gardens are a method of doing it. And
Wait.
like, going through politics and all that, doing the same thing. They're taking steps individually. Yay.
What about if that like leader that Artie was talking about in that like shady town and stuff? What if that has like the biggest like food, and that's why everyone wants to go and live there because it's got like this huge garden. Maybe it's called the garden.
Ooh.
And it's like everyone wants to go and live there because there's all of these like beautiful plants and different types of food, and you're never going to go hungry and you're never going to be tired, and it comes like a beacon for all these people that have like just suffered 30 years of war and are like, I'm so tired.
But on the inside, it's just like a bunch of corrupt elite literally having sharecroppers.
They're getting free labor.
Yeah, they're getting free food, free labor. They're getting fat off of everybody else working their asses off. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's a
but
classic
it
human thing.
advertises itself. It's like, you know, when you like look at like holiday brochures and stuff, and everything is really green and like all these beautiful flowers and stuff. It's kind of like that. Like you go there, and on the surface, you're like, wow, like everything looks stunning. And there's all these people, and they seem to be happy, and they seem to be like enjoying the fruits of their labor, but actually what are they really getting from it? Not an awful lot.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's like it's very
I like that.
what just happened? I just had like a brain lapse.
Welcome to my brain.
Oh, you
Welcome
should.
to old population us now, Red.
I wrote a book. I don't know how. But so
Oh god, that's
when my aunt went on a cruise for her honeymoon, she went past the Gulf of Mexico. What they did is they put up tarps so you didn't have to look at the ghettos. I'm not kidding. They put up actual tarps so you didn't have to look at those curmudgeon-y poor people.
What?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Thanks for the follow on that now. Thank you, Gisano. Gisano the writer. Okay, hey. Or just another writer. Just another writer. So what are we talking about? We are world building in a pleasant setting. What would we call it? Bright hope. What is it called?
Noble bright. The term is noble bright.
Noble bright. A noble bright setting, which is the opposite of grimdark, so everything's a lot more pleasant. We're sort of talking about like with nourishment. We took prompts from the crowd for this tail end of the show. Sorry, not into world building. No, absolutely, you're totally fine, man. But
Bye then.
Did they leave?
Yeah,
I'm confused now.
Okay.
Sorry, gone. Good luck, have fun. Hey, you
Good luck,
too.
have fun. Thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. Peace. So, anyhow,
That was
like,
weird. But whatever. Hey, if you don't like it, not your cup of tea. Totally fine. But the garden, yeah. Let's see.
God.
Oh, Derek, welcome in, man. Glad you can catch a tail. on the show.
DM. Good to see you, buddy.
So
oh, I'm here.
I like this garden
Hey.
place. Maybe it's called the garden, but it's called like Gorbashkokablov or something like that. Just like really like guttural and mean and industrial sounding name. But if he's like, oh, it's called the garden, but it's like, oh, welcome to Shklogba Klebedev. Like,
Maybe the garden is a part of it. Like the garden is like the wonder of the world that draws
the garden's
people
the
to this
community.
place.
They're like,
Right.
well, join the garden today and make cool cabbage.
This is, oh god, that
Raw
makes almost
cabbage and potato and tuber, very good for soul. Mm.
Oh,
Oh my god. I love it though. I like that actually.
Yeah.
Every word just got like put together in one
pretty
That's-
much every word is now in that.
A guy called Just Another Writer is not in the world building. Wild. Yeah, well, teach their own.
That's cool.
Potatoes
got
are
it.
very
You got
good
yourself
for the
a
soul. Potatoes are also good for making you fat because they're high in carbs. But and starches.
Bread
Um,
makes you fat.
Makes you fat.
Ah,
Bread makes
whatever.
you fat?
Yes, from personal experience, yes.
I can
Uh,
play most of those baselines.
but
My favorite movie.
I think we're good on nourishment, right? We literally like built the other half of the country off of it.
Pretty
I
much.
think that works.
Yeah.
That works pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that vibes.
Vibes.
All right. Good show. Bye. No, I'm kidding. So we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Immediately ends, no preamble.
Okay, so folks, if you liked what you saw, please consider a follow, and if you really liked what you saw, consider dropping a sub, because 3 more hours. Hey, oh, hey, I got a life to live. Okay, this is just a part of it, right?
I'll go for another 4.
Oh, okay.
We're upping the ante, like
Yeah, no,
unnecessarily.
fuck it, we're doing all in. Cat, sorry, you're not gonna get any sleep. But
Right. You have to stream at work.
this has been Writer's Block, a show where we build worlds with words. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, I did. So
Yep.
I had to check that.
I had to think about it too. I was like,
Did I say that?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like making a tongue twister for myself makes me make sure I'm keeping on track. But reintroducing our lovely guests. Art, tell us about yourself. What you do?
I shoot zombies and shout at doors. Apparently.
that is accurate. Very
I
accurate.
shoot
I have
zombies.
a pet egg.
A pet egg.
have a-
Oh, eggery, yeah.
Pet egg.
Eggery.
God.
Okay, serious art now. I stream and occasionally support people on Twitter.
Occasionally.
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 Let me pull up your stream and stuff.
Oh no.
Shit.
Please don't watch my stream live.
No, we won't watch your stream live. Oh, I need to get shout outs set up so I can like do clips from your streams. Let's see here.
I have lots of interesting clips if anyone is interested. They're fucking weird.
That's the best part. We like weird here.
I think the best part in one of your latest streams was when you ate one of the eggs. But you like didn't
is so
mean to
chaotic.
be introducing your little egg family, and you're like, "Yeah, this is Eggery. This is." Oh no.
He just named
Oh.
it, and I was like, "Oh, Cat, you need to see the family." Just fucking ate it.
And I was like, "Oh, well, tell me who that was."
It was. The obituary is tomorrow, where we'll find out.
My chat was very upset.
So upset.
It was so funny.
Well, if you want to see more funny shenanigans like that, I posted a link to Art's Twitch channel
Look in the letter.
in the chat. Make sure to drop them a follow. Tell
I'm
them I
alright.
sent you. Tell them Red sent you. But,
Please do.
Cat.
Or me.
Yeah, you.
I am Kat, but many people probably might know me as the Law Mistress. I am lawmistress93 on Twitter, and I have a website, thelawmistress.co.uk, in which I blog about tabletop role-playing games, specifically indie ones that kind of I feel like deserve a little bit of love. And I'm a big fan of D&D, so I like taking folklore and myths that are in the real world and trying to apply them to D&D settings, or to help kind of DMs come up with ideas drawing from real world stuff. I do Monster Mondays, where I take a real world mythical creature and I try and find stat blocks that smash some of the mythical creature abilities or what they're famous for, and so that you would be able to use them in your game. So the stat blocks might not aesthetically look like the creature, it would just be about stat block itself sometimes. But yeah, that's me. I think that's everything I need to plug. Yeah.
Well, like a little note for the. I'm not gonna do a Midwestern goodbye as we call it, but the thing with like mythical creatures is they're so different in D&D. So like mechanically speaking, like banshees, nothing alike actual Irish folklore banshees. Like not a remote thing alike. But
yeah, I mean, like there's very small.
Similar.
Like there's like
they're women.
I think I'm not 100%. So we're starting there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what my. Or like, oh my goodness, have you ever seen what a real life kobold looks like? Because it's not a little lizard creature, let me tell you. It's like essentially a gnome is what it is. It's not. I don't know how we got to where we got, and I'm really excited one day to maybe figure that out, because it's going to be great when I'm like, I'm doing kobolds, and everyone's like, no, classic kobold stat block, and I'm like, not necessarily.
No, they're little gremlin men.
Yeah, they're like little, like they're pretty much little gnomes. They're like more like very like brownies, and they're just
German.
not what you'd expect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, on the opposite side of the fantasy sci-fi spectrum, Omni.
Hey everybody, I am the last Omnitouch, your favorite robot American, and I am the sole creator and illustrator and editor and writer and publisher of the Legacy Tabletop Role-Playing Project, a sci-fi space opera setting I've been working on for literally now 15 years. And I am finally getting to the point where it actually is sort of getting done. I do a lot of science fiction art. I play with this guy, pointing specifically up at Red, on Saturdays with DM's COVID Syndicate, which is a fantastic live play D&D game, high fantasy, and also in Red's AS the Mountain campaign on that same channel, on the same time block on alternating Saturdays, where we explore and play in the other game we made last season of Writer's Block, AS, on the Edge of Stars. I also am the primary publisher and editor, and I guess I put together the Caltrop core game for AS. So we both wrote and did a lot of work on that together. I was the guy who hit the save button.
I did pretty pictures.
Yeah, you did a couple pretty pictures, and you did some pretty awesome writing and world building with it, obviously. And then finally, I myself am actually a streamer, so you guys can see me on Twitter and Twitch. On Twitch, I am the Last Omnitect. Same thing everywhere else, all one word, pretty straightforward. And I, on Wednesdays, do world building. At the moment, I'm doing a stream called Building Glaswall, where I'm focusing on my own section of AS from last season's Writer's Block, and building a setting of that for explicitly the Caltrop core game to run on stream as a TTRPG campaign. And on Saturdays, I kind of just call them screwing around Saturdays, but I'll do anything from art to world building to playing Halo Infinite, or probably Destiny the Witch Queen when it comes out, or whatever game I feel like casually, and hanging out with you guys. So keep an eye out for all that. I'm also working on some YouTube projects and eventually a big legacy tabletop role-playing game campaign live on stream on a bi-weekly basis. So keep tuned to all of that. I have way too many things up in the air right now. What about you, Red?
I'm Red. I run this Twitch channel. Sorry, that was way too dramatic. Sorry. Sorry, I'm wearing an Eagles t-shirt. Got that Don Henley energy. Yeah, I run this Twitch channel, and it went straight to ads. Great. I'll just do my stuff while it's on ads. I don't care. So
Censored.
it's censored. Everything I say should be censored. I'm at VA Redemption on Twitter. You'll find me there promoting people's stuff, talking about other people's stuff, talking about how cool my stuff is, talking about how cool other people's stuff is. I'm also going to be making a brand new show called Pulling It Out of My Ass. I'm kidding. But that'd be
Oh my god, we have to do that.
God.
in the future.
You don't like that one? Okay.
love
I'll work on my stand-up routine on a show that isn't live. Yeah, I run this Twitch channel. I'm a writer, just like Kat, just like Omni, just like Art's a poet. So they're cooler than me.
I'm a poet.
They're cooler. They're cooler than me. I write.
I'm not cooler. I'm just more depressed.
Well, that means you're cooler than me. You're a musician after all. The more
By
depressed you
beating
are,
a claw,
the better musician.
you are.
More depressed you are as a musician, the more popular you are Kurt Cobain.
Oof, oof, oof.
Well, not a bad example. I do Twitter. Did I say Twitter? Twitter. I have my link tree and all that crap. I do commission work. I do voiceover stuff. So if you really like listening to my voice, you can hire me for advertisements, projects, or whatever you would like. Or you can hire me to do that silly Russian accent. But I do writing commissions, voiceover commissions. I make maps sometimes. I do a little bit of everything.
Oh, and I'm starting up a side hustle where I just voice Siri for anyone that, for anyone that wants that.
Also, if you need any music for your streams,
Oh, there you go. See, and if you need a giant dung beetle for your streams, you got Omni here.
Yeah. You are your ungrateful ass as we're talking.
No, Kev, don't raid me, damn it! It's the end of the show.
It's the end. No.
right?
It's
Another
the
hour.
Right, another. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going.
Hey,
Welcome in, Raiders. Sorry, it's the end of the show.
Kev,
Um,
it's the end.
don't worry, I will
You know,
raid into
it's
somebody
the
else.
Awesome characters. The other folks that are here.
Awesome character. You think these people are putting on a mask for us? You think
I
they're
think
characters?
we're all putting on masks. It's a complicated setting, okay? Like,
I don't
just
wear masks. I am
See,
the most
I
genuine
can't
I can
help-
be.
When I read like is raiding or like raid train, I can't help but just think like, ah, scorched earth have arrived.
What? Who's you guys have any recommendations for who's live right now? Thank you for the raid, Kev. I'm gonna send your people into a stream
well,
that's going. So there isn't.
I have a
dead end.
recommendation.
Yeah, sure. Let's hear.
So, one of my friends who was in the chat earlier, that role-playing Ginger, is playing Dark Souls right now, and he's only got 1 viewer.
And it's
Yes.
that
Let's utterly fix that.
Playing Ginger. Oh, I see
I-
them on Twitter.
I-
Yeah.
Adore him.
Okay. So, thanks for the stream.
Send
Thank
everyone.
you for being here. Sending everybody. All right. So, raid is this train is leaving the station. Get ready, Raiders. But folks, if you like what you saw, follow, subscribe if you got money, because that goes right back into the channel. And I need to pay my guests because they're starting to get really pissed off at me. So let's thank
Every time you
you.
play my song, it's 50 pence.
50. I don't even know what the fuck that is. But
That's $70 to you.
Jesus. Okay. Well, Raiders, give me 70 pence, 50 pence.
Pence?
Pence. Mike Pence.
That's penance.
We're
That's how much it is.
rating out. Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Love you all. Take care, folks. And don't forget to keep writing.